All right, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. What up? What up? It's the AGM podcast, and I go by the name of JC. We here with our wonderful, lovely queen, Yana Captivates,
What up?
and my little bro back behind the camera lens once again. Shout out Boogie, and we got a special guest in the building, man, filling in for our very own Huso. Shout out to Huso, by the way, man. Come back with us soon. But yeah, we got our guy that's filling in today, man, doing me a huge solid.
No
all
problem,
the way
no
from
pressure.
what's the area code, bro?
904,
coming from
Jacksonville,
the 904
Florida.
I know that's right.
To the what's up there?
What is it, 510 or something like that? I
Okay,
think.
yeah, that's close.
I don't know what the Bay Area code is yet.
Down
My
to-
phone
down
number
to
the same.
LA. Yeah.
Something like that.
He from the south to the Bay to LA, man. He came to hang out with us and give his very
Strong opinion on
very
things.
strong opinions and talk his spit from the Ant Hill podcast,
Yes,
which we'll talk about right now. And shout out your music group.
Oh yeah, the same old. Shout out my boys, they doing their thing. I'm get back doing music soon, and also the podcast will be coming back soon. You know, the whole move across the country took a huge toll, getting settled and everything like that. And people ask me, "Oh, you gonna podcast again?" and things like that. Like I've been watching y'all whenever y'all drop y'all stuff, and y'all been motivating me. Been motivating me to get back in and get my strong
our
opinion.
biggest supporter.
Oh,
bro.
yeah, for
every
sure.
week he be sharing and pushing. So it's an honor to have you here. My guy, he go by the name Isaiah Anthony.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here, my brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I was checking out your podcast when you first got going, and I know you was kind of going in a direction. I remember we was talking about it before you even started it. So you had like a certain direction you was going with talking about different, from shoes, basically everything under the sun. So just kind of give them an idea of like what you were on and like what you plan on doing going forward.
So far, at the beginning, it was like more so about nothing, like just nothing at all. Like I didn't really have a strict topic, and it was more so fan controlled. So what I'm gonna do is take more control, because it's hard to, when I'm posting on Instagram or posting on YouTube, like everybody can't see everything at one time. You feel me? Right. So it was kind of hard to get everybody's opinions on certain things and things like that. So I'm gonna take more control of the show.
Hey,
but
quick,
also,
no free promo. Please.
You right. You 100% right. They can get that when they start paying checks. But so like for me, it was like I'm gonna take more control. It's still gonna be fan oriented. It's still gonna be what the people want, but
that's like the structure.
I want to give people what they want and talk about what they want, but I'm gonna take more control of it in a sense.
Got you. And so where does it stand now? Because I remember you did a few episodes and then you kind of went on like
oh yeah. So right now we in the middle of like I was in the middle of doing a whole segment on mental health, and like I said, when I moved,
that's this girl, man.
Yeah,
you gonna find out. That's
for sure.
Right,
we can call her and get on the show too. For sure. So for me, like being a black man who's 23, especially being in America, like as you know, and you being a black woman in America, yes sir. Yeah,
I did not know you.
Yeah, I'm 23.
People be saying that about her, like, really? Man, she's that young. Like,
I thought you were like 21, 22. I thought you were younger than me.
No,
okay, for sure. But being 23, being young black in America, like just that alone takes a lot of toll on your mental health. Like sometimes, like I see so many people accomplishing things at my age, and I'd be like, dang, I'm not doing enough. Like I'm clearly not doing enough. Like how are they at this point in life and I'm not? Like, am I slacking? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I get in my own head to where I depress myself in a sense, you know what I'm saying? And like being real prideful about my blackness to the point where sometimes it becomes arrogant. Like I don't take like the slightest small disrespect, like I blow up like that, and my anger overtakes my whole day. And learning to deal with that as a black man, because as you know, we're not allowed to talk about our emotions. Like even black women, y'all ain't really allowed to talk about y'all emotions unless it's with y'all friends. Because as soon as y'all show that y'all get angry, oh, you the mad black woman. Like you can, or as soon as you passionate about your career, oh, you just a workaholic bitch in a sense, and that's not what it is. So that's mainly what I want to get back to, is doing that segment, and then after that, I'm just gonna keep the ball rolling.
So you just want to be able to you basically have it in places like that's gonna be my contribution to the culture.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like 100%.
All right, man. So let's get into it. Like I said,
Okay.
thank you for being with us, my brother.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Won't be the last time.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can call me on Zoom. I'll get in the car and zoom down here. And, hey, we'll figure something out for sure.
Right. All right. So I didn't put this on the list, but just real quick, what's y'all thoughts on Kendrick saying this is his last album with TDE? Is there anything y'all?
Man.
I ain't been on social media for
He said.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I'll let the Cali natives take this one away first.
Yeah, so he put out. I'll tell you what happened. He put out a statement, basically saying that, like, be expecting an album within the foreseeable future, but this will be his last one with TDE, which is
with TDE.
Yeah, which is
okay.
Yeah,
Or
just him. I can't speak. Yeah, I didn't hear nobody else.
Last album.
Yeah, just
So-
his last album with
with
TDE.
TDE.
Oh, is this his last album with TDE or his last album ever?
His last album with TDE.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
he's trying to switch it.
Boy, I
That's
thought it was
fine.
going. The way he was talking, it was going to be his last
Like,
album
last album
ever.
period,
And
nah.
boy.
He was just saying, but it still was shocking because it's like we affiliate TDE with
Kendrick.
Kendrick. I used to think that was Kendrick's label.
I did too.
At first, I was shocked when I found out Top Dog was an actual person.
Yeah, I did not know Top Dog was a person until like probably like a few years ago when he put out that Untitled Unmastered joint.
Right. So what do you think that means? Like, did you take anything from it or?
I don't know, cause like part of me like, dang, is there something going on in the internal of Top Dog,
right.
or is it just
Something
Kendrick
new.
wants something new?
And he ain't
things
dropped
like
in
that.
so long, so it's like,
Yeah.
is that attributed?
Because I was just saying, like, to me, he like our generation's 3 Stacks in a sense. Like, you know how 3 Stacks wanted, like 3 Stacks is an amazing artist. We already know this. Like, he is great, but he doesn't like the pressures of constantly having to put out music and like kind of like in a sense be a puppet like for the masses. Like, I have to do what the masses want.
I'm gonna push back because from that little 94, 95 stint to 2001, it was all Outkast.
No, I know.
He was trying to let us know.
I'm saying he was going hard. Like, yeah, he was going hard. But like once he had, like after a while, he said, "I need to experience more life to write more music." Like right now, I don't feel like writing
But
more
K-Dot
music.
had 3 albums and did that. 3 albums.
I feel you, but some people just, I don't know. It's just.
I don't know. I thought you was gonna go in the direction of like maybe the way they flow, because I always looked at Kendrick like he's kind of gave like an Outkast type of vibe.
He does as well.
He never struck me as like a West Coast like artist or West Coast sound for the most part. Like it sounded like out like a and even y'all might kill me for this, but even like I feel like some of Eminem's rhyme scheme kind of impacted. I know this guy right here, man. I know this
For
guy
the record,
right here.
Eminem is hot ass. That white boy is trash.
And it's funny because you on the ends of 2 opposite sides of the spectrum because I love Eminem. So
Why?
Yeah.
Just why? Just why?
I love vocabulary. I'm big into.
Yeah, you can't take his cadence from him, bro.
He's a lyricist. Period. He's a lyricist. Know that.
Now, if you hate the
None
content,
of the things that he says make sense, and then he
content.
just
Maybe
We're
it's
talking about the
maybe it
rhyme
might not
scheme,
be
though.
whole ass stories being told, but let's talk about analogies. Let's talk about metaphors. Let's talk about how
Talk
this
about
man aligns words together and makes
garbage.
these.
I'm sorry.
I mean, that's
He just a
We
hater.
can agree
You
to
just a
disagree.
hater
And
at this point,
That's
bro.
fine. That's fine.
and that's okay.
And
Like,
that's why I love this show.
right, and as you should, because we like that.
No,
like,
but see,
ultimately, it
there
don't matter.
there's some things that should be consensusly agreed on. And if you trying to say that white boy can't rap, you is out of your damn mind.
That is
And there's nobody that'll tell you
true.
quicker than anybody.
Bruh,
Eminem is not
Bruh.
on the same
Let
level as a lot of.
Let me tell you something. The only time he's impressed me is on 8 Mile. That's it. That's it.
I haven't even seen fucking 8 Mile, so I like him outside all that. Yeah,
Knees is
don't
weak,
get started
arms
on what I
spaghetti.
No,
haven't
8
seen.
Mile. That's not. I mean,
I know it's not a black movie.
yeah,
per se,
exactly. That's not as
however,
bad as the other
But that's
ones.
still in the rite of passages with different.
Right.
key black
I think if you love
actors.
Eminem, you'll love that movie though.
Sure.
I can't say that.
I can't see how me not, at this point. However, that man is a lyricist.
At the end of the day, I will always say this: it's not for me, and he's doing just fine
do
without
you
me.
do you know who Atmosphere is?
No, I do not.
But we're not saying. Hold up, we're not saying you have to like his music.
No, I completely understand.
We're just saying you are blatantly hating by saying this nigga can't rap.
Just know
you are out of your
just
damn
get
mind.
ready. Just get ready for when I'm making a rap. I'm dissing Eminem. He's the first one I'm dissing. I'm ready.
You're gonna do that to yourself? Really?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
He ain't new to this. He true to this.
That's fine. That's fine.
And that's cool.
That's fine.
It's good to have that level.
He's gonna see a ball of energy just come at him that he ain't never seen before.
I hope so.
Let's move on because this nigga crazy.
Right.
All I was saying.
As long as you know I'm crazy.
I feel like as far as rhyme scheming, a lot of people put him as a top 5 lyricist of all time.
He ain't even top 500.
Okay, but a lot of people put him in that stratosphere.
That's fine for them people.
I feel like as far as that goes, of what the bar is, I can hear some M on K-Dot, and he might even tell you that himself.
Yeah, he probably would. But
so I've always heard him like that. But so as far as the news, it's kind of troubling to me because it's like you took 4 years, and Kendrick is probably one of the only celebrities on the planet who like really don't be known for nothing but his effing music. Like you don't never hear him in the tabloids for nothing, for this girl here or drama here or none of this. Even when he dissed everybody, he still happened to stay out of like getting into his personal life or anything. He got dissed like I don't know how many times when he did that. So he somehow, for somebody that's so private to come out and talk about personal matter, for somebody who he's always said he held in such a high regard and that he's leaving, I don't know, in a way I just feel like it's more to come, but it's more to this than what we've seen, and I feel like what we just saw isn't the end of it, because again, like she said, we haven't heard from J-Rock, we haven't heard from Reason, we haven't heard from Isaiah Rashad, SZA, we don't know what, that's a hell of a roster over there. So
that's, to me, like, TDE is more, I mean, I've been a SZA fan before, but still I'm releasing shit, so it's like, when it was still Teen Spirit and, her Z mixtape, her S mixtape, like those OG type shit. So before she got hella popular, I fucks with her. That's what I think of with TD. I think of Kendrick, J-Rock, SZA, like Reason. Right. I think of everybody encompassed. Like I understand that Kendrick helped hype up TDE a lot more in a lot of senses. However, TDE is a force to be reckoned with, and it's a collective. That's what I'm getting at. It's collective.
100%.
It's not just one person. It's not just Top Dog. It's the collective of people he fucks with and he works with that brings about a different type of greatness that isn't seen in other. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Def Jams and stuff. They have their own right and reason to having their own credibilities. However, for TD, it's slightly different. Right. It's just different. It's a different vibe.
And they strong without K-Dot, but that's
they
still
really
a big
are,
blow.
But that's a big part of it.
Because you talking about one of the most legendary artists in music history.
Yeah, 100%. Because I remember back when, like, they were, like, everybody was signing everybody. Top Dog was signing their people, and then MMG was signing their people. And we was like, it was a huge debate on which label had the hardest hitters. Money. Like, Young Money and that. Like, and, like, Top Dog was, like, top 2, and they wasn't 2. Like,
period.
Right. All right, so, Sha'Carri Richardson. Last time I don't know if either one of y'all was here when we spoke about her. That's funny.
No,
but
I was not.
So I just want to get y'all take on it. What y'all think about Black Twitter rallying around her and lifting her up the way they did, and then turn around and I ain't gonna say canceling, but just they going Black Twitter, and it up. Yeah, that's the best way I can put it.
Little recap, like I said, I ain't been on social media like that, so.
She got smoked yesterday, okay?
I heard that. I see that.
I ain't gonna lie. She lost that race.
That's what I wanted to know.
They as soon as like the race happened, like they was like, I knew she was gonna lose. We told you she couldn't run with the Jamaicans, this, that, and the third. And it's just like
the memes, all of that.
I understand the Jamaican love. However, I'm Jamaican. It be that way. Like that's my household. We root.
She like I was a part of it.
Little bit. No, I'm just playing. But no, I don't. That's that flip floppy bandwagon ass shit. That's weird as fuck. Personally, like that whole like, oh, y'all tried to rally behind her when she failed her drug test and all this other shit. Keep that same energy because she's still an amazing runner. Like she said, she's still a force to be reckoned with. She's still a competitor. She's still somebody that is making strides for Black women in Olympic history in that field. Period. So I don't give a fuck what the rest of Black Twitter had to say about her losing. Being a competitor and athlete comes with wins and losses. Period. You're in the Olympics. You're competing against people who are not only genetically made up for this shit. Jamaicans, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I love to say it because that's me. But ultimately, it seems like it's in our genetic makeup to be ass.
And she was just off for a whole month, and you just gonna go right back in there with these girls that just won the Olympics. Like,
there's a whole Jamaican who has run more than once, pregnant.
Wow.
And has won, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on the shit because I'm still a little rusty. However, that's something I've heard, and ultimately, I can't put it past nobody.
Right.
If you pregnant and running the Olympics, that alone shows determination. You against heavy
and you've been chilling and smoking for the past month.
You had the hiccup with the smoking situation. Then you had all this support after, which gave you a little wiggle room and leniency to do what you want in a way. So
she turned into a superstar.
Exactly. And you probably continue to do what you wanted to do when you wanted to do it, and that's to each his own, as you should. However, don't go out of your way to make a big deal about not winning, which I don't think she did.
No, she did.
I mean, I feel like she said a couple things, but ultimately could have been worse. So
true.
That's how I feel about it. Like the way
she didn't take nothing.
The way our last president was, like, I mean, there's a lot more arrogant.
That's the bar. Damn, it's in hell. The bar's in hell.
Think about it. Like, I mean, we were able to have our whole, free world leader talk a bunch of wild ass shit.
But she does make a very valid point on that. With male counterparts and male athletes, they can be as arrogant as they want, and nobody bats an eye.
No problem.
Like, I'm sorry, but like very, very well.
Not if they lose. If you lose, you're gonna look like a clown. You right. They get mad when it's like Floyd Mayweather arrogance. Like, you keep talking all this spit, but you refuse to lose. You know what I'm saying? This is true. It's like he won't lose. It's just like, at the end of the day, what can we say?
But it's just like Leonardo DiCaprio said. Whether they like to admit it or not, humans hate success. They hate to see somebody else successful.
That's not them, period. Because ultimately, part of the human condition is envy and jealousy. And thinking the grass is always greener on the other side. That's part of the human condition. So it's always going to look good. It's always going to feel some type of way when you're looking at somebody else living a life that is idealized for you, but ultimately you don't even realize that that's not the life that suits you. That's not even a life you like for real, but you haven't tasted it yet, so you wouldn't know. You just think that the idea of it, caught up in the idea shit. Right. That's what people be doing when it. Sorry, I'm about to divert a little bit. That's what people be doing when it comes to having children young. They get caught up in the idea of fixing a kid, giving their kid what they didn't have. You can't give your kid what you did have. You're not helping nobody. When it comes to relationships, all that, it's like you're trying to fill in a void that you can't even fill in the baseline for. So you can't try to make improvements on. And that's what
I like. It was a love-hate thing. Like, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of the memes and shit I thought was funny as hell.
I mean, it'd be funny.
And I feel like in a way, it's a good thing that everybody was killing her like that, because think about it, especially this, when a basketball player do some spit or choke the shot off or something, man, you see how Twitter be coming for, or social media be coming for that player.
Bro, I lost a game in summer league and heard about it for 3 weeks. A game in summer league. I lost a game in summer league and heard about it for 3 weeks. So I can imagine how Olympic athlete would feel hearing about it.
But it helps for women athletes because it gives them more notoriety when you do that. So I feel like she shouldn't be like babied or coddled, especially because she's like unapologetic with how her attitude is. She stands on what she stands on, and I respect it. You know what I'm saying? If that's how she is. Now, you can't keep losing. You can't keep losing.
Like you said, you can't be that arrogant and then go out and get dead last. Like,
but whoever set that up for her, like, that was like a setup for failure.
Yeah.
These women have been running all summer.
Yeah, and
they've been going hard all summer. I'm not to say she hasn't been training, but that's not the same thing. She
sat out for a minute.
Yeah, right. If I'm not mistaken, you can't even train with your trainer on Olympic band. If I'm not mistaken, so you really just out there training yourself, and you
just gonna jump back out there.
Yeah, like it's like you can train yourself, but like it's certain things that only a coach can push you to do. Like, you feel me? So like for her to go out there and do that, like I ain't gonna lie, the girl ran 11-1-4, like,
and that's far cry from what she got the first time when she qualified.
So it's like obviously you see something ain't right, and it's just like funny to me, like they, like you said, they turn quick, and like before even during the Olympic races, they comparing her to the Jamaican women.
And another thing people don't realize, some of them same girls that beat her that day is the same ones that she just smoked 2 months ago.
Yeah, so it's like
clearly it's something
like you
that
just said,
changed between that
every
time.
race is different. Like, bro, it do not matter. Like, no lie. There was this kid named Kendall. He ended up going to FSU for track. He won Gatorade Player of the Year. And no lie, this kid named Javaris Davis, he played in the NFL now. He ran track too. Kendall would win 100 meters every single time. Every single time. Came Gateway Conference. Jay finally got him in the race. Wow. Every race different. Right. That's why you run the race.
I feel like a good thing to consider, I'd say the silver lining to her getting all this backlash is understanding that you got to believe in yourself, not rely on the masses and what they saying about you. Because you got viral real quick. Don't get caught up in that, because ultimately they're going to flip-flop as quick as you got up.
Right.
So it's good for her. It's a very humbling moment, I think, for her to understand that you need to be your biggest supporter. You need to be the one to believe in yourself, because as you see, the masses can be rallying behind you one day, but the next, if you're not giving what they think you're supposed to have gave, you're gonna get backlash. I ain't gonna lie, them
Jamaicans had me rolling though. They had all these videos. Bumba clock. Like I was
them
dying.
Girls and boys,
and you know what I hated?
They built different, bro.
You know what I hated? One of the main Americans that was rallying behind her saying, "Oh, we need to defend our queens," was effing Tory Lanez. I'm like, this looks so terrible, bro. That's the American that we got.
You serious?
I'm dead serious, bro. I can pull it up. I'm dead serious. That was the one person.
Boy, Tory need to shut
the hell up. We need to protect our
queen,
and we got all these Jamaicans talking about like, nah, she finna get this bumper clap work,
like, bro.
And she got it. Like, so to me, I'm like, them is still my folks. I don't care what no African American say. I feel like that's still our folks. You feel me? Regardless of how they feel or how we feel or whatever. So I was just happy to see black excellence in it. So it is.
That's how I feel about it too, as well.
Yeah, like for me, I've been following Sha'Carri since like she been in college. Like before that, like I thought the girl was cute, so then I followed her. So found out she ran track.
So you following her before everybody else.
Yeah, and then I found out she ran track, and I'm like, oh okay. I'm kind of keeping up with this girl, cause I'm like, she remind me of FloJo. She got the big hair, long nails, and I was like, FloJo was raw. Like she was that girl. So I was like, I'm ready to anticipate. I'm trying to see her in the Olympics. Like I wanted that for Sha'Carri, and it was disappointing to see that she couldn't do it. But like I said, it just didn't feel like during the Olympics they needed to keep on comparing all the other runners to her. Like let those runners have their moment. Like they just won gold, and the first thing that you asking them.
Not having a comment. Like
they asked the girl.
They tried to make it drama when it wasn't. Like she didn't want to talk bad. She didn't have nothing to say about it. Let it be that.
Exactly.
No comment. Period. So let her not have to badmouth another competitor who lost to her, and let it be what it is. But the shade room, platforms, blog sites, whatever.
But that's her market right now. She, you know what I'm saying? She took on that.
It was just real weird, like how all the networks like are quick, like they are jumping on this Sha'Carri hate train. Because like when the heck have you ever heard of NBC interviewing the person that came in last? All the races that we done seen. When have you seen them interview the person that came in last? And she wasn't
the only USA player.
Thank you.
So they can't use that
exactly. Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, it's like y'all pushing for us to try to like badmouth her in a sense. Like,
interviewing her when she's in that state of mind. She just came in last right now.
I completely agree
her
with you
emotions are
in the sense
raw.
that she should not be coddled because everybody get this work when they be losing.
Right.
And all it's gonna do is motivate her from what I've seen the person that she carries herself as. But like, bro, don't be going over there asking people. So how did you feel how Sha'Carri ran? I just won.
Right.
Like, what? Why are we talking about?
Why are we talking about the person who came in last?
You're trying to pit me against another black woman, and I don't like that.
Exactly. So.
But even with basketball players, basketball teams, they have to talk about when they lost and stuff, and they either be in their feelings because they're human, and they just fucking lost the game. Or they'll just be calm, cool, and collected, no comment about it. There's no smoke.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
But y'all know there's a side of this to where it's like there's a whole demographic of black men and everybody else to where it's like people can't wait to jump down black women.
Oh, of course.
You know what I'm saying? The first chance they get. You know what I'm saying? So there's also a lot of that. But like I said, as far as like the Jamaicans, I understand them talking they spit. They was proud.
As they should be.
I feel like Sha'Carri is going. I feel like she gonna bounce back. Like I said.
This is her what first Olympics?
No, this is post Olympics now.
Yeah.
Well, but even if like this is your first time being in that circle,
A pro racer.
that's okay.
Yeah.
This is your first time, bruh. People have years and years.
Yeah,
of
and
this
she only
shit.
21. What people seem to
And
forget.
that's
for some
that
reason.
too. Like let's Usain Bolt started years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Like even people like I remember watching Allison Felix, who I think is for USA if I'm not mistaken, and it's like seeing her rise to the tops, seeing her do her shit the last couple years, and it's like that's somebody who's rooting for in our household. But ultimately, it's like let's not forget that everybody deserves that opening chance.
And I hate the
wiggle room.
black Americans acting like they wasn't cheering for Usain Bolt all these years running
Not
the
that you're
Olympics.
acting like
I
that.
didn't
Who acting
care.
like that?
I
Nah,
didn't.
me.
No, I'm talking about on Twitter
Yeah.
though. They acting
That was
like
my-
they
that was my
wasn't cheering
nigga.
for Usain Bolt going up
Right.
against Tyson Gay. We had a black dude running.
Right.
We just didn't care because Usain Bolt was that
I couldn't tell
guy.
you not one American male racer, bro. Not one.
Only one I know is Tyson Gay. That's it. I know more
I know
Jamaican
you
runners
saying
than I
that's
know
my nigga.
American runners.
Right, Usain Bolt did shit. Period.
Like I said, I'm sorry. They in Jamaica they built different as far as that track and field goes. Definitely 100%.
And that's, I mean, you can't be mad at genetic predispositions. Like, if you genetically able to do more things than others, like,
Yeah, we was just talking about that. I
Then
found
that's
out
okay.
in 10th grade I was not going to the NBA. Them boys was built different. Like, bro, when I saw a dude 5'8" jumping out the gym, a kill car, you remember he called the Crime Stopper in Baltimore? I was like, yeah, I'm not going. It's cool. It's cool.
Yep. Well, much love, Sha'Carri, from the
Right.
AGM
Yeah, we
podcast.
still love
We
you.
still
We love
rooting
you
for
over
you.
here,
you
Sha'Carri.
do your
You know what I'm
shit.
saying?
Do
You
your
just
thing,
started. You
Sha'Carri.
just starting out.
Yeah, you got
Don't
your
get
slice
caught
of
up
humble
in the
pie.
hype.
I
Now
still
let's move
believe
on.
in
Don't
you.
get caught up in the hype.
Yeah.
Do not get caught up in the hype.
And like I said on the last time we talked about it, I feel like that weed situation was one of the best things that could have happened for her. Them Olympic players don't even getting paid. She turned into a superstar more
That's
than
what
anybody
people
that's
don't
in the
even
Olympics.
realize, bro.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
make no money off the Olympics. That's
Right.
the endorsements
you get the
after.
from the notoriety, which
Yeah.
she got more, I feel, from that situation than she would have got otherwise.
It was just
She
frustrating.
got Kanye commercial. She had the president of the United States speaking on her, whether it's good or bad. The fact that, you know what I'm saying, you did all of that at 21 years old. So I feel like your story is already a success. So just keep going.
Yeah, she'll be all right. She definitely gonna be all right.
All right, more controversy. DaBaby.
Oh yeah, buddy. Who want to take this over first? Because I know I got a long rant.
Let's explain the drift of what's going on. I'm not gonna repeat what he said, obviously, as a man who doesn't curse. But
do you want me to do it? I
made-
could. I curse. I can do it for
do
you.
the honors, bro. What did
All
DaBaby
these
say?
The man went to Rolling Loud this past year. As you know, it previously was canceled due to COVID and everything. He gets up on the stage and starts doing, put your phone in the air if you got a big butt. Put your phone in the air if you smoke weed or something like that. What he said was, put your phone in the air if you not
If you don't got HIV.
Yeah,
first.
if you don't have HIV/AIDS and finna die in a week. Verbatim, bro.
I didn't remember that last part.
So one of them diseases that's you gonna die in a week. Like that's exactly what he said. One of them diseases that's gonna make you die in a week. And he was like, and if you not in the parking lot, a dude in the parking lot sucking dick in the car,
put your phones in there.
put your phones in the air. And I'm just like,
It's
That's
real
what you won't
specific,
just
my
say.
guy.
Yeah, that's what you won't just say that. Like, I don't like that.
I'm sorry, cause I'm finna go with my rant right here. I don't know where the hell he saw that at, bro. I done been to Rolling Loud Miami 3 separate times. Done walked through that parking lot 18 times, 2 and back. I have never seen anything like that. Okay, never. Not between a man and a man. Not between a woman and a woman. Not between a man and a woman. Not
I don't
between.
mean it don't happen.
Not to say it don't happen, but I have not seen that. And for you to be that specific, bro,
yeah.
makes me think
He feels
that's
upset
exactly
about
what
it.
you wanted.
Yeah.
And secondly, bro, the HIV/AIDS comment was so.
He apologized for that, though. Yeah, he did apologize for that.
Bro, it's just
he said it.
you.
On the internet. Oh well.
The reason why it was such a problem, people talking about this cancel culture, this, that, and third is such a disease, and it's been there for a while. People have been getting blackballed for a while. What y'all did to Michael Jackson when that fake story about him raping them kids came out?
I'm not letting you do that, bro. Michael Jackson has never been canceled, especially for somebody who had that many molestation accusations against him.
I'm saying
Get the
he was
F out
not.
of here, bro. I'm not going for that.
He was not. He was not canceled by everybody, but he was canceled by quite a few people.
No, canceled is canceled, nigga. Canceled is like you're disgraced.
Nobody's ever
Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. That's canceled.
He didn't get disgraced.
Who?
Michael Jackson didn't get this. Come on,
bro. Who? It might have been R. Kelly, and we're gonna talk about this later, so I don't want to get too much into it. But when people bring up R. Kelly situation, the first thing I go to is, I don't want to hear that spit when every time Michael Jackson name came up, and I bring up the fact that I think personally he was touching little boys, because you had two different accusations at two totally different times by two totally different people, and if you keep hearing stuff like that from the average 40 or 50-year-old, y'all would call him a pedophile, but because it's Michael Jackson, everybody's scared to say, nigga, you're a pedophile, you like to mess with little boys. So people like to pick and choose, and with Michael Jackson, he's one of the people where people consensusly rally around, oh no, them kids was lying. Them parents made them kids lie. So I don't want to hear that Michael Jackson spit. I mean, this nigga is, the way he's protected. You can go on my Facebook right now of years ago me calling him a pedophile before they got on that documentary spit. And as recently as probably last year, with people steady protecting him. So that's what you're talking about, is not canceled or blackballed, because Michael is still Michael. He can still get played anywhere. He's not, his catalog isn't disgraced. None of that spit. That's not canceled. Like what I was talking about earlier of even you saying like that's been going on. It's not been going on. I hate to use this example, but DMX's first verse on X Gon' Give It To You. How many fags and you homo and all of that in that verse. Bernie Mac on Kings of Comedy back, what was that, 99 or 2000? His segment, if he did that in 2021, he'd be beyond canceled. You calling a little 6-year-old a faggot and all that, but that's right now regarded as one of the funniest stand-ups ever because of the time that it was in. And it's like you did say earlier, you said comedy shouldn't be touched, but that's not the era we in. So cancel culture has took a huge leap on how sensitive people are.
But what I'm saying is it's more prominent in the forefront because of we have social media. People are able to pressure others into canceling this individual. You feel what I'm saying?
That's fair.
So, like, what I'm saying is with the situation by Michael Jackson being canceled, in a sense, I'm saying that it was individual people who took it upon themselves, like you, who said, okay, fuck it, I'm not listening to his shit no more.
I didn't say that.
I'm not saying. Okay, I'm just saying. But like,
I don't rock as a man. I don't rock with you, and I think you a disgusting person. But you still the greatest entertainer ever. I'm not taking.
I don't put nothing past nobody. But what I don't know what happened in there. I don't know what happened in there. Just like I don't know what happened in there with Bill Cosby. I don't make 9 times out of 10. I don't make comments on that. I say just because. What is the quote from Boondocks? The absence of evidence isn't the evidence of absence. Meaning, right. Just because there's no evidence it didn't happen does not mean it did not happen.
Right.
I will say that all day long, but the baby he should never say what the fuck he said. Like all you had to do is say put your hands in the air and wave like you don't care.
But if DaBaby would have said that in 2005,
of course it's a different time.
He don't get took off. That's my point. So the people that are saying cancel culture is so sensitive now, they're right. That is what the deal is right now. But
hold on, like that just goes along the same lines of like when people would say, okay, for going from the 60s to the 80s, you can't say the N-word freely no more in the 80s like that. You couldn't say the N-word freely like that no more. It's just the same thing. Times have changed. It's just times have changed. People are not going to sit up there and let you just be hateful to them, and they giving you their money at times.
I honestly I've heard much worse. I honestly don't think what DaBaby said was warranted for what came after that.
It was very insensitive. Like
it was insensitive.
For you
to
be
wrong.
A black male to say if you got HIV/AIDS finna die in a week. Bro, there are people who are just born with it. There's people who've been exposed to it not
facts.
through sex.
Facts.
So it's
that's
like, what are you saying? And for somebody like him to say wild stuff in his songs about like what females do to him sexually, but then you see two gay people doing whatever they doing wildly. What the fuck are you so mad for? Why are you so pressed? Like why I just want to know, why was that in your head on
That's specific.
At Rolling Loud Miami?
No, I agree. Like that's probably like the biggest fuck up is that whether or not he felt what he felt, he didn't have to say what he said. It's such specificity. Like,
I'm sorry, that's what would never not be funny to me.
Like he made it seem like
he was so specific,
personally
bro.
attacked about the shit. Like, why are you talking as if one of the bitches you fucked on didn't disclose her shit? Like you talking as if you done got personally burned.
Yeah.
And it's giving projection. Like he didn't have to go out of his way. That's the thing. He could have said a few different things that could have even alluded to that wasn't that specifically. However, he did not.
But y'all forgetting that DaBaby always kind of been wild. Like, he
I
always
know,
say
but
crazy shit.
it's just like, but the same thing at the same time. We've seen the videos from Spring Break Miami. There have been people who've met in the elevator and start fucking in the elevator. Right. So my thing is,
regular clubs on a regular day.
Oh, fair enough. Well, for me, I'm from Jacksonville. We don't see that every day. Right. So it's like, bro, you gonna sit up here and see that and not say nothing about that, but the gay dude's doing it. Oh, it's such a big problem. Like,
I think it was his way of saying, like, fellas, if you're not gay, put your phones in the air.
But what is that even needed for?
Like, what was that needed for?
It wasn't needed, but that's just my point of saying, like, he always says crazy shit like that. He even in his songs, like his rhyming scheme, sometimes he'll put like stuff together.
And
like,
that's okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's okay.
So I think it was just his personality, but this time and in this era, at that moment, and that platform, it was too much.
It was just not the thing to do. There's a time and place for everything. That was weird. It was just weird as fuck. Like, where did that come from, my nigga?
Real shit.
Where did that come from? You're at Rolling Loud.
And the crazy thing is, he ruined
regular ass shit.
As a straight man, there is, bro. It's like, please don't take me wrong, it's comparing women to Baskin Robbins, but it was like total flavors out there, bro. It was like, bro, you had every type of black woman, you had every type of Hispanic woman, you had every type of Asian woman, you had every type of white woman, you had light skin, brown skin, dark skin, red bone, yellow bone. What did you want? Like, bro, and as DaBaby, with your celebrity status, you could damn near go home with any female you want. You feel me? And you chose to mention the gays.
And he ruined such a great performance, because I don't know if y'all realized it, but like right when it was over, the cancel thing didn't start right away. At first, they were saying like DaBaby might have had the greatest performance of the whole weekend. Like, they was praising his performance because of how live it was until that clip went out, and then it was like, hold up, and then that overshadowed his great performance, which probably would have made his stock went up. As far as I know, he's like
his shit is down,
one of the top niggas in the game. Was one of the top niggas in the game.
Down.
And I feel like even him trying to double down, I think it was him being arrogant of like, you know what, I'm gonna take cancel culture on head first, nigga. You can't cancel me. And I think right now he's sitting in his
bigger
room
than what
like,
he is.
But I feel like he should have saw that from his homie Tory Lanez, that ain't gonna work.
That's different though. He probably didn't think shooting somebody would equate to what he said.
No, but I'm not talking about the act itself. I'm talking about all the shit said after. I'm talking about all the publicity shit that Tory Lanez was on lives, and all the extra shit he was saying after the fact. Not addressing the situation, beating around the bush, still alluding to different shit, still being satirical with it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because people seem to forget that for some reason.
But when they defend him,
he be joking around like it.
I can't see him not being too different in certain instances, where it's like you feeling like you need to be arrogant in places where that's not.
I thought that was karma for him trying to be funny and bring Tory Lanez out. You know what I'm saying? After all of that drama that just happened with that. He tried to make that the viral moment.
Y'all been thick as thieves lately. As soon as some drama hit, or that particular drama hit, and it's like y'all been showing y'all asses in the worst ways since then, feeding off each other in the worst ways, trashing your career in the worst ways, trashing your reputation in the worst ways, getting canceled in the worst ways, having to work even harder to come back. That scat song they did, or whatever the fuck. I didn't like the video, the little glimpses I saw. I didn't listen to the song because I didn't understand the video. It was just all stupid to me personally. Like, you trying to use signature tropes in order to try to kickstart back up your popularity, like Thriller and shit. That had nothing to do with the song. You drag racing, you doing the Thriller dance, you having a wig on, whatever. It didn't make no sense. You just trying to use popular tropes in order to kickstart yourself back into.
And I noticed you be doing a lot of name dropping lately too, to try to be like, oh yeah, like he's still cool with me, or he still mess with me, or I got the song with Kodak.
Cassidy ended that when he dissed Tory Lanez. That shit. I mean,
no, I don't think so, because from our perspective of growing up on Cass, but for a Tory Lanez fan, bro, they gonna be, Cass is outdated, or you know what I'm saying? He's still rapping like it's 2004,
True,
and you know, you be hearing that type of stuff. But all right, so outside of DaBaby, because I really wanted to use it as a segue, how do y'all feel about homophobia in the black community in general?
People, it's just weird. Like for me, like I was telling you, I'm from the South, so I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and act like I've been pro-gay my whole life and things like that, because I was homophobic earlier in my life. That it was drilled into me at a young age, like the joke, like, oh nigga, you gay. That was funny. That was funny to people.
It's not funny to you no more?
It's not funny at all to me no more. Like, because I have gay friends and things like that, and like all the jokes and things like that. It's just funny to me. Like, people will laugh at Big Mama's house. People will laugh at Tu Wong Fu, where grown men Madea, grown men, things like that. They find that joke as the funniest thing in the world. But then as soon as they see it like in real life, they just like so scared and so afraid of it, and they get so pissed off.
I don't know, maybe because people look at it as comedy versus like, oh, you serious?
Yeah, but it's like at the same time, like as long as that person literally does not sexual assault me, I don't have any problem with it. Like, who you like is who you like. I'm not fucking you with them. So why does it matter to me? Like, that's how I feel. And then a lot of black women be like, some black women. Let me not say a lot of black women, because I'm not finna get choked out. I'm not finna get choked out when I get out this door. But some. I said some 3 times. Some black women like to have gay friends, but as soon as if they found out their child was gay, would lose their mind.
I can tell you a lot.
They would lose their mind.
A lot of black women, that's a negative stigma. A lot of black women, I'm not one of those, because I was in a relationship with a bisexual half black man. So, and we were best friends beforehand. So clearly, I'm on the other side of the spectrum when it comes to that. I'm very much more lenient, and I'm bisexual myself. So that don't mean shit to me. I can understand why it can cause problems for insecurities. I get it. I understand where they're coming from to an extent, but that stigma where it's like, if a nigga even wants any type of what would be considered kinky or non-vanilla sex to experience certain pleasures, let's say having his nipples touched, for example.
That's gay.
You're gay, but that's not. You're human. You have nipples like I have nipples. It feels good. Whatever.
I think playing around the crack is considered gay more than.
It's not gay unless it's 2 men doing it together.
It's not gay unless you haven't.
It's a gay gesture, for sure.
But that's what
a nigga that like to if a nigga say he like to get his booty tickled by his girl, that is definitely some type of like
it's not gay.
Homosexual
stigmas and stereotypes that go with it. It's not normal for black people or people in general, but especially black people, to have sexual exploration, to be kinky, to be into shit that is deemed white people shit, whether it's BDSM, whether it's dominatrix, whether it's masochism. I can go on and on because I know about the shit, but what I'm saying is it's white people shit. That's what it's deemed as, and I've been guilty of it myself, where I'm like, not me, but I see.
Well, I think they say it's white people spit because they felt they're whether y'all admit it or not, there has definitely been an attack on emasculating the black man in entertainment culture, to where they purposely need to have certain comedians put on a dress, or like Dave Chappelle talked about it, how they like went out of their way to try to make a scene like that for him on Blue Streak, and when he stood his ground and said, no, I'm not putting on no effing dress and acting like a prostitute, they already had the scene set up for him not to have to do that, but they went out of their way to try to do that to him. Kevin Hart of saying like, oh yeah, I'll never wear a dress, and then he ends up having to wear a dress on I think it was SNL, and then this nigga turned into a superstar. So there's definitely people behind the ropes that are controlling that definitely want to make certain black men look like they're homosexual or make them look feminine.
But here's my problem with that is that, yeah, of course, we're black. Unfortunately, we can't do shit without it being underlying problems. We can't be entertainment. We can't be talented. We can't have any type of gift without it having some underlying advantage taken of it, right? Like from white people, exploitation of it. So my thing is that just like with everything else, they take away the fact that black people are human too. Humans with sexual desires. Sexual desires and sexuality is a spectrum. Regardless of color, race, age, region. I don't give a fuck. Human is human, and regardless, sexuality is a spectrum. So that whole thing with, I understand where you're coming from, where it's like, yeah, black people are trying to be made where it's buck breaking, whatever. There's been shit, it's historical, where we're made to be emasculated because of the threat that we put just by being naturally masculine as our people, sure. But that's the thing. We keep sucking into the negative stereotype and the conditioning that we've had, as opposed to just tuning into being your own human self, which is exploring every avenue of having a human body. Having a human, like I said, niggas feel weird about having their nipples touched. Nipples are in men and females. Nipples happen to be one of those things that have nerve endings that kind of feel good.
I've never necessarily called that gay though.
No, I mean, that's fair.
But I might know what you
a lot of people,
alluding to.
Some dudes do.
I never
some
looked
dudes
at that.
Do. Some dudes can get their ass ate and not feel like it's a problem. Others, it's out, and that's to each his own.
Definitely out.
That's out.
That's you though. But like at the end of the day, pure science says that the male G spot is in your ass.
It's in your ass.
I've heard. I've definitely heard.
So if you want to finger up there every once in a while to get the best orgasm you ain't had in a while, to each his own. Especially if it's with a woman, I don't care. To me,
the only thing that makes something gay is between a man and a man, or a woman and a woman.
It's not. I'm not saying you're gay because of the action in itself. To me, it says that you have probably some aspirations of that with a man if you like gay activities like that.
Or maybe not your particular problem, but it seems like a problem being in the black community is being open-minded. Period. Point blank. Period.
But we already knew that.
No, I know. But let's just speak on it again. Let's remind the folks, being open-minded is the big stigma. Like, there's a problem. Same with black females. Being a black female, I can't relate, but I've seen other black females like, oh, that nigga's gay as fuck if he wants this done. That nigga's gay. I'm a freak. So if that nigga wants that done, if I'm doing this and we doing that,
thank you for saying that.
I'm not calling him gay because we tuning into being human and exploring all accesses and availabilities to pleasure. The fuck? I'm allowing you to do what you gotta do. I'm gonna do what I'm willing and open to doing. Maybe might not be everything, but I'm open-mindedness. That's the disconnect.
Exactly. And then like she just said, like for example, like with women, they can figure out what they like. Like for sure, like they can go be with a woman one time and then not be gay. If you are a man, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you are a man and you go try to find out if you are a man who likes men
for the rest of your life,
like you just do it one time. Like, and you don't even, it could be for 2 seconds. You be like, no,
you just made out with that nigga. You didn't
even do nothing for real. You didn't even do nothing for real. You are gay for the rest of your life till you die. There's that sad
double standard too that I hate, because it's like, which we can get into this another time, but it feeds into a big one that really grinds my fucking gears. Because motherfuckers love seeing 2 women together.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But 2 women and a male, that's a threesome.
Mm-hmm.
2 niggas and a girl is a train.
Oh, no, she didn't.
We're not doing that. That's not the case. That is not true. It's still a threesome. 3 people. What is a fucking threesome? 3 individuals having sex. A motherfucker feels like because they got 2 dicks. Now, dicks ain't run off gold. Dicks ain't perfect. Dicks ain't all that for real. Let's be real. They're flesh half the time. They're half useless. So when it comes down to it, niggas make it seem like, oh, we got 2 dicks in the mix, so it's just so powerful. We're running a train on that bitch. We're running that shit. No, but if it's 2 girls with 1 nigga, what makes you think it's not the girls running the train on the nigga? I said the same thing. But it's exactly the same thing. If you want to call it a train, let's call it what it is on both sides.
A threesome but that would involve everybody though. So if it's not involving everybody, how is that a threesome?
3 people.
If it doesn't involve everybody, how is that a threesome?
So what is it if it's not a threesome?
You just said it. It's a train.
So it's just somebody having something done to them. No, that's not necessarily the case.
Usually when it's a threesome with 2 girls and a nigga, everybody's involved, including the women. Everybody.
But what if the women aren't involved? Is that not a threesome anymore?
That's rare. But
that's
I mean,
not,
that would be another term.
That's that double standard where it's like you think that's a little less fathomable. Like, no. Say that's the case.
You don't really hear. When do you ever really hear that?
But when do you ever hear about threesomes with two niggas and a girl not being called a train and having that girl be empowered and not be just a slut or just a hoe or just ran through, right?
This is true.
Right.
Niggas
so let's talk
freaks.
about it.
But that's the overall double standard.
But they don't want them to have any sexual experience.
No, because niggas have. There's a few different things that go into it. One is the penetration aspect, because niggas feel like they got a member to penetrate, they got a key to a lock. That two locks fucking with each other is less than a key. No,
that's not what it is.
No,
It's the fact. It's the fact that
it can be.
Pussy is less accessible, for men than it is dick for women.
No,
but
that's what the real thing.
Be third party in this situation. That's the facts. Y'all control on who gets the pussy.
That's fair, and I'm not disagreeing from that. But I'm saying let's not count out that small or not. There is a demographic that is the case where they feel like the key, two locks mingling together don't mean nothing. If another key enters that lock, for example, if a female is with a nigga and the female cheats on a female, then it don't matter because that's two locks rubbing together. Yeah. If a female fucks with another nigga, then it's a problem because she got penetrated by another dick, period. There's a difference.
That's a different conversation, though.
I mean, sure, but when it comes down to threesomes, it still can be worked into that because not every threesome is everybody on each other. It's not. I'm sorry. I mean, I've been introduced to the kink world. Like, I think I would know the variations. Like, no, it's not necessarily everybody touching each other. Not everybody has to fuck each other. Not everybody got to penetrate each other. Not everybody got to lick each other. That's not all.
But usually with a dude and two girls, that's usually how it go. Versus what you gave the example with two dudes and a girl, sometimes more than two dudes and a girl. That's usually how it go. Them niggas ain't touching each other.
But think about it. Let's talk
for
about
example,
the extenuating circumstance of the outliers that it's two girls, one guy, and that guy likes being penetrated. Then what? That nigga gay, right?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
That nigga gay.
I don't care what neither one of y'all talking
that's
about.
That's not gay.
100%.
Thank you.
It's
and
not
that's
gay,
not gay.
100%.
If a nigga's into pegging and getting that kind
because
if you're willing to
get that,
it's not a real dick with blood flowing through it, right?
I don't care.
But it's gay, and that's that
I'm
whole thing where the double stigma. It sucks because there's so many nuances where it's hard to make it make sense for everybody, to make it work for everybody, because there's always the little variables that make a difference for people's perception.
A woman cannot naturally penetrate a dude. So if you want penetration, what is it that you're attracted to? You're attracted to a fake dick?
You're attracted.
So that means you would take a real dick. Like,
listen. You're attracted to the feeling that you get
from a what?
But hold on. That you get from your prostate being touched by something and poking it. Like if you're attracted to the female, you're attracted to the woman. You think she is beautiful. You think that you want to be with her, but the only way to make you bust a nut this hard is sticking it up there.
Or rubbing on your gooch.
Yeah,
shit.
Me personally,
cool.
It's not for me. Never done it. Not probably gonna do it. But
you were not about to tell me a woman could put a strap on, F this nigga with a fake dick, and there's no homosexuality in this nigga.
No.
Get the F out of here.
No.
Period.
I mean, but that's
I'm not.
Like I said, in the black community alone, that's a level of closed-mindedness to where I understand white people are deemed as more free in the sense of humans are humans, and yeah, that can rub black people the wrong way, whether it comes to different situations. However, black people do need to be more open-minded with certain things. Let's stop trying to push it in a box because that's.
But you don't mind it when it's the smaller stereotypes and stuff, or like, oh, that's white people spit when the kid falling out in the store and throwing spit and all of that. Oh, that's white people spit. So there is instances where we do say that, and that's been a part of our culture for decades. So it ain't just sex. That's just how we are.
I'm
period.
saying that's part of our culture in general. Is that there's always that subset of shit that's white people shit. That isn't white people shit. It's human shit. It just sucks because black people keep themselves so suppressed, so stifled, so conditioned to not even explore because it's looked at as extreme or white people shit or off or weird when it's really just human. And unfortunately, white people seem to have the luxury to be able to be human a lot easier than black people and other people. So that's what it comes down to. When it comes to psychology, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to all of it, white people are able to be more human than black people are able to be human, period. Our human experiences don't get taken into regard. All of that. And that goes into sex too, period. And it sucks because, unfortunately, it causes a lot of stigma. It causes a lot of killing and problems when it comes to disclosure, when it comes to conditioning and preconceived perceptions. And I understand and no shade to anybody who doesn't want to fuck with a certain type of person. Preferences are real, and that's to each his own. That's fine. It's hurting people over those preferences. It's feeling like they're a threat over those preferences. Mm-hmm. We spent our entire existence as black people being killed over the threat of our existence and our color. That is the same thing that trans and gay black people have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. They're being threatened for their existence, not just being black, but with loving who they want to love, having their preferences, having their interests. And it sucks because, of course, black people don't want to look at it as like, oh, yeah, we taking on that white shit when it comes to other areas, because that's what it is.
Like what?
I mean, hating certain groups, like us being homophobic and transphobic.
Well, some of that isn't us being homophobic, transphobic. He just brought up a perfect example. Didn't even realize it. How when a man can do something for 2 seconds and the rest of his life he'll have that stigma of being gay. Everybody don't want that stigma. That might be in your world. You feel like, no, that's okay, and you'll defend them. But there's 7 billion people in this world, and there's a whole stigma behind that.
But that's
so you're talking about men that would have to live with that for the rest of their lives.
But that's
my point. It gets down to the root. Before there's that, there's the fact that there is a stigma at all for trying something for 2 seconds.
That's fine, but you're shaming the people who decide like, oh, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to be a part of that because I think that spit is gay. They're saying from that.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they shouldn't be so hateful towards people who are not like them. I'm saying that
you said they're being closed-minded.
No, but they are in the sense of you're not being open-minded to accept that there are people that aren't doing what you want to do. And that's okay. You don't have to hate or dislike them or shun them or kill them or whatever it may be because of lack of disclosure or whatever. That's a little different because that's relationship. That's personal, sure.
Right.
However, when it comes down to it, that's what I mean by white people, us black people doing white people shit. Us condemning, it's not color, it's sexuality. Like how white people felt some type of way about our color. Sometimes black people feel that way about fellow black people who are trans as gay. Period. That's what that's the point.
Like, for example, the biggest thing that we take pride in as black people is that we know how to mind our fucking business. But when it comes to being gay or trans, I need to know. I have to know. I can't. It can't be a secret with me. And it's like you can't.
I feel like that's in recent years. I feel like that's mellowed out a little bit. I feel like black people are becoming more accepting.
I know I'm saying, but like I'm talking about in the South, bro. Like growing up in the South, bro.
Well, I can't speak to that.
You had to, because I grew up in what they call the Bible Belt. Okay. Meaning, it's every corner you turn there is a church, a Baptist church, and
that's LA.
Yeah, okay, for sure. So and but like in the South, it's even worse, bro. Like I'm talking about, like, bro, no lie, bro. Crystal Springs Road, bro. Church. Another 500 feet, church. Another 500 feet, church. Go 1,000 feet, church. It's 5 churches on the same road. Yeah. On the same road. So, like, with them, it's like, I need to know if you gay. And if you are gay, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna make sure that you know that you ain't equal to me. And what she's saying...
See, maybe that's a level we didn't deal with as much growing up in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
It's probably a different experience than what
it's not
in the
as
South.
severe, but it still exists.
Like,
no, for sure.
Like, cause now, like, I'd be telling my mom, thinking back at it, even though I was bullied, like, hurt people. So when I would be hurt, to get the attention off of me, I'ma deflect it to somebody else. And I don't even know whether the boy was gay or not, but I would make jokes because he was just a little bit different than us, that he was gay, and it would get the pressure up off of me. And now that, bro, I'd be thinking about things like that. I'd be like, damn, bro, I was really a shitty person, bro, doing that things. Like, bro, I made that boy's life harder, and he might not even been gay. And even if he was, like, who knows what could have happened to him, like what I did to his mental. And I was sitting up there hurting myself. If I would have just conformed with him and said, hey, how you doing today? Right. I could have probably had a lifelong friend right now.
Well, since we're on this topic, let me ask this. Why is it that like, so we all on this rally of like stop shaming gay black men, start rallying around gay black men. But anytime a black man does something that black women don't like, that's the first insult, is that this nigga's gay.
It shouldn't be.
I mean, that's still.
How many times have we heard? Have you seen? Let me ask y'all this.
I agree. It should
be. Have y'all seen Kevin Samuels engage in any homosexual activity with any male?
No, and you're right.
How many times has this nigga been called gay this year?
I say Kevin Samuels.
It's not used as like, oh, I think he's gay. It's used as an insult. And I'm not even saying this to defend him. I'm just saying
you're correct.
That's the first thing that y'all run to. So you can't. It gotta go both ways. If that's really what y'all on, and people trying to rally around like, oh, don't use gay as an insult, as if like how DaBaby used it and all of that. That can't be the first. Oh, you going back and forth with a woman. Oh, you gay. Oh, you a fag for this or you a fag for that, just because you don't like something that a black man did. I just say he's
misogynistic, like, to me. But at the same time, I don't even see him as misogynistic because he say the same thing to men and women. I don't understand why y'all keep calling into his show.
I'm gonna correct y'all with the y'all shit because I get what y'all talking black women.
I don't mean y'all. I'm talking about the group. I'm talking about the masses.
I know y'all don't mean me.
I'm just talking about people in general.
Let me clear some shit up real quick because I'm not that, and that is very evident.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, I don't knock you. You good? We having a debate. Healthy. So when it comes down to it, that is a very clear, evident example of ignorance, stigmatic ignorance. If that is a way or a phrase you can put it, that's how I feel it is. Women, black women, feeling some type of threat or some type of way, they're quick to feel like a man is gay if he is in tune with some type of sensitivity, if he's willing to be vulnerable, if he wants to speak on certain things or have certain conversations, he's gay. Or if he's a little more feminine, not even feminine, but just in touch with feminine. Or what if he was raised by only females? That makes a difference too. Right. Sometimes you quick to be gay. That's not right. Black females are dumb as fuck for even doing shit like that. To me, it still boggles my mind. But it shows that I'm not everybody, and not everybody is in tune with intelligence, which is psychology, which is just a general awareness that people are different. Everything's circumstantial. This black man ain't gonna be the same as the next black man, because this black man may have had a father in his life, or may have had other male healthy figures in his life, while this black man may have been abused by male figures, or not even that, just been raised by women because male figures did not do the women in his life right. Things like that. Those are gonna be two different males in the long run. When they grow up as adults, they're not gonna be. But not because of those reasons you said. I'm not saying. I'm saying that it very much could be because of those reasons. However, females are quick to count them out, because say the man who was raised by just females is more feminine, more in tune with emotion, knows how to speak to females more, knows how to communicate. You gay because you're not being hard, because you're not deflecting, because you're not being angry and violent, or ignoring all your true feelings by diving into something that's negative, have negative coping mechanisms. Unfortunately, for a lot of black women, and for what they're looking for, or what the stigma for black men is, it's like they're looking for somebody rugged, somebody that's been through trauma. I mean, I'm just saying face value. No, I'm just for races outside of ours. Looking for somebody who's rugged, who's hard, who's been through things, but they're not factoring in that with that comes lack of communication, lack of vulnerability, lack of being in tune with the emotions, no emotional availability for you in the sense of opening and exposing themselves, which means you can never help them become a better person, nor can you help yourself, nor can they help you, because they can't give you what you're looking for. It all makes a difference. But I feel like I agree with you. It's completely wrong. I hate that black women do that shit, because that's one, weird as fuck. Yeah, it can be funny at face value sometimes here and there, where it's like, oh yeah, that nigga gay. It's easy to say. All words are easy to say, but having the meaning and doing it with a certain intent makes a difference. And ultimately, they be quick to be like, oh no, you're gay because you want to say something that is contradictory to what a woman is thinking, or what this particular woman is saying, that you're gay. Like, no, you're being selfish and ignorant and closed-minded because you're not trying to hear a perspective outside of your skewed own perspective that is not correct because it's your own. It's not correct because it was your experience. It's not correct because that's how you feel about men. And to your point,
I'm actually like that. When I see certain men, just because they have their hands like this, or they a little feminine, or talk a certain way, I don't automatically say, oh, he's gay. I go straight to like, well, I don't know if he was raised by a bunch of women, and that's how he was, because that's how I was for a long time. It was just me and my mom for a long time until I had my big cousin that ended up moving upstairs from me, and being around him kind of helped me with, you know, tuning some of that stuff up. But I've heard stuff like why you got your hand like a fag, and it was stuff like that kind of made me like just automatically, okay, like I'm not supposed to do that or this. But if I would have never even had that, I would have just probably kept doing that stuff. It may not have been homosexual at all, but certain people would see just your, you know, your movements and be like I think Kanye is a great example. How many people called him gay, but not realizing it was literally just him and his mom his whole entire life. So I'm understanding when it comes to stuff like that personally. But the only thing I was just alluding to was the going far of like the pegging and all of that.
But crazy thing is, Kanye is the one who like kind of made me check myself about my homophobia. He has an interview that he did.
Oh yeah, he got old interviews.
And he was talking about like how he had a cousin who was gay, and he was like, "Damn, I'm sitting up here making these lyrics and making these things about hating gay people, and I don't hate my cousin. He ain't no different from the person I grew up with.
Right.
He just like people who's different from the people I like. That's it.
But if you love hip hop as much as somebody like Kanye did, there's a lot of homophobia that's automatically rooted in that anyway. So you might not even look at it as like.
Come with it. Like my best friend, if we on like video chat, you know, I don't know if you know about Bigo and stuff, but stuff like Clubhouse Bigo, stuff where you talk to random people. People be quick to say the faggot word or whatever.
Really?
She's quick.
Yeah,
to
these days they bold.
She's not gay. She's not, you know, in the LGBTQ per se. However, she's quick to nip that in the bud, because what we not gonna do in her world is throw that F word around when she got me, who is bisexual, and we don't play.
So she's real protective over the F word.
She is. Personally, me, I listened to Tyler, the Creator, when he was doing
That's all you gotta say, huh?
When he was doing his shit when he was doing his social experiment shit. That's the best way I could put it. Doing his stuff that made waves and to get attention. And
he just said the other day, Odd Future had no chance of making it in 2021.
Oh no!
Oh hell!
It wouldn't have made it. But ultimately, it showed their age. Like Earl Sweatshirt, 15 years old. Tyler, the Creator,
I didn't know
16,
he was that young.
17. Yeah, he started rapping at 15. So you little, like...
He was on it.
You was talking about rape situations and y'all referencing serial killers. Me, I was into serial killers. I'm that outlier. So it's like, for me, it's perfect. I'm desensitized to that. I've been blessed enough to never have been in a traumatic sexual assault situation or otherwise. But being what I'm into in forensics, serial killers, all that, it's like I am technically very desensitized to that. So it does not bother me, on top of not having my own personal situations that I've gone through. However, I don't discredit it being sensitive to other people. Yeah. I'm saying all that to say, using the F word, like, throughout his Bastard Goblin album, like, and even one in between, Wolf, he talks about, like, using the word fag. He talks about people being upset about it. He talks about not giving a fuck, still using it, whatever. But ultimately, it's like, this nigga's gay himself. Like, he didn't tell y'all, but this nigga's gay himself. But
is he really?
No, Tyler, Creator's gay.
And he's
like, that nigga ain't plain gay.
He is bisexual, you know.
He's bisexual.
He's part of the LGBT.
Oh, okay. I thought he came out as gay. My bad.
I always thought he was trolling. I never. No. Am I missing something?
Yes. No, Tyler, Creator ain't trolling. Like, he's bisexual. Like, at one point he was dating. Wasn't he dating Jaden Smith?
See, that was a troll.
One of them.
That was a troll.
I thought maybe that was fake. However, I just feel like I know that he has dealt with men. He's opened up about it in his like more newer albums. It's from like 2017
maybe I need to read them lyrics or something.
Like Flower Boy on.
I just don't want y'all putting that label on somebody.
No, I wouldn't. No, I thought he did. Like, that's why I said I thought.
I'm not gonna say gay or bi.
I thought
LGBTQ. I want to say it's been confirmed.
Okay, fair enough.
He's in that community.
I'm not
I would think so. His boy is in that.
I'm not a huge Tyler, the Creator, Future fan. I just when I see the news, I see the news, so I don't know that much about him.
Even with Frank Ocean being on Future and stuff, that's not necessarily just. I understand birds of a feather, they connect. However, that wasn't.
No, I didn't put Tyler as gay because of that. I just thought I said that's Frank business. Like.
Right. Period. So for me, it's like, you know, he's used that word. He's joked about, like, you know, he did this whole type of theme with his albums where he was his own therapist. So he's talking as a therapist, talking back, and they're talking about like using the word faggot. I don't give a fuck. Well, faggot, and this is don't say it no more.
This
Like,
nigga,
well,
man.
I'm gonna do it anyways. But ultimately, it's like years later, and probably even little hints in between that. It's like, yeah, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. That's what
even looking back to our some of our most classic diss records. How many times did we hear faggot in hip hop?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? That stuff was normal. I think about shit like Hoochie Mama and shit, where it's like these are whole sexual assault anthems. Like they really not caring about the women at all. They're just like, let's get it in, fuck what they talking about. We better fuck, and that's that. And some of it, like, I think it was Hoochie Mama, where it's like I had to stop listening to it as much because it made me a little uncomfortable. Like, damn, I'm into some shit, but like, y'all being real reckless about it. Like, this wouldn't pass today. Right. Like, y'all couldn't do this.
Since you shared your Kanye moment, I could share a personal moment. My I ain't gonna say his name obviously, but my favorite cousin, that's been my favorite cousin like the last 15 years since I met him. He came out the closet some years ago, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, and this was a moment where I kind of checked myself as not going as hard as I used to, because I couldn't believe at the fact that I was around him for that much time and that close to him the way I was, to where like he was damn near like my brother. This nigga that looked out for me when I didn't have no money. He bought me white tees when white tees was cracking. I couldn't afford one. I'm like talking that far back, you know what I'm saying? Always had me, and I told him all the time like how much I appreciate how much he was there for me at a time where I really didn't have many people in my corner. Some of the roughest times of my life, he's been there for me, and he didn't have times where he randomly picked me up. We go to Magic, all kind of shit. So I done been around him a lot. Like he came out with my 21st birthday. I went clubbing with him. Okay. So that's how close we always been. And for me to never realize it, I ended up having a conversation with him when he finally did come out to me, because he came out like super casual. Where I'm like, wait, run that by me again? What the hell did you just say? Right. So when we had the conversation, the thing it was something that he said that had really hurt me. He told me that because I asked him like, bro, like if you was gay this whole time, why didn't you ever like say anything? Like, because I've had times where I asked him, not thinking he was gay, but I've asked him about like, girlfriend here, girlfriend that. Asked him for relationship advice with girlfriends and shit, and he never mentioned anything about it. And I asked him why he didn't, and his response to me was he didn't know how I was gonna respond to him. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about how scary that is for so many gay people. Sometimes they do like tell somebody they were super close to, and they flip out, fire off, or I hate you, I'm not ever talking to you again, you faggot, like all type of reactions. And like the fact that those thoughts ran through his mind that I might react to him like that made me check myself like, damn, because I was, like you said, we used to joke around like that. Like if my best friend called me like, what you want, fag, or what you want, homo, like that's how niggas talk. I know it sounds crazy. To the masses.
No. That's how niggas talk. You right, bro.
That was the thing.
That's how niggas talk. So obviously my cousin being as close to me as he was, I've obviously said that to him as well. Not even knowing. And him being cool and just taking it that whole time. And it's like now obviously I'm like, okay, I for sure gotta watch that with him. But it just made me more conscious of it overall. Like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? If the fact, like, just the fact that he even thought in his head that I would respond to him in a nasty way like that, as much love as I have for him. And to this day, like, nothing changed. I told him, like, I love you the same. We still just as close. Literally nothing is different. But, it just trips me out that, like, damn, like, I never knew. As close as we are, if anything, I'm mad. This is the fact that something as personal as that you just didn't tell me.
Yeah,
but
I know
his reasoning for not wanting to tell me was kind of like my moment that you said you had.
Self-preservation for him.
Like I know folks like who, like you said, are a part of the community, and like they'll tell their parents or whatever, and they won't talk to them. I know one parent who's like they still talk to him, but like they'll say shit like, "Oh, so when you gonna bring a wife home?" or when you
even though they know his
like, and it's like that's like real insistent. Like you already know what's going on, and like I feel like for the gay community, it's like for them they just wanna live life like their sexual orientation.
My bad, real quick. Just to add to that, his answer to why he didn't do like a formal PSA coming out, he said he felt like he didn't need to.
Fair enough.
Because
they don't want their sexual identity to be their only identity. Right. Just like with straight people, you don't walk around telling people every day, "I'm straight. Right. I'm straight. I'm straight.
And if you
have to
do,
live
I'm gonna
in-
question that.
Yeah,
nigga.
like
you sure? Who you trying to convince? Me
Yeah.
or you?
Right.
So, yeah, that's black community and homophobia right there.
All right. Well, I mean that went way longer than I expected, but it was very healthy.
Dialogue.
Right. We took a show with that. But nah, I'm glad y'all, opened up with our experiences, because stuff like this is 100% necessary from all our different tracks of life, especially hearing your perspective being in the South, because I know that's the absolute worst. Like, you know what I'm saying? Versus us being in Cali, and it's a lot more accepted because that's pretty much the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Almost all of them are. So, but yeah, let's move on. So, Dr. J's 38-year-old daughter came out and said that she's been homeless and doing DoorDash, and her kids aren't living with her right now. And Dr. Dre is a billionaire. So, to make this very simple, do y'all feel like there should ever be a point in time where somebody's a billionaire and their kids are homeless?
I mean, I don't know the situation.
Thank you. That's circumstantial.
So it's all circumstantial. Like, I can't even lie. Like, if I have a child and I'm making all this money, and then like I'm like not requiring them to work, I'm paying their bills, and then they just being up and disrespectful, like, oh, F you, I don't need you, this, that, and third. Yep. Like, bro, like, what am I supposed to do? Just keep on paying their bills just because they my kid? Like, you, like I'm talking about, like, you've been doing what you need to do this whole time. Right. Now, Dr. Dre, as far as from what I've heard, he doesn't have that good of a track record as a father. So,
so let me say what she said, so we at least have her side of the story. She says she's never really had much of a relationship with him, but he has been paying her bills, I guess, the last 18 years or whatever, however long she's been grown. But I guess she had went out and publicly said, like, she doesn't have much of a relationship with him, and because she publicly outed that, he said you cut off as far financially.
Oh, that's kind of petty, bro. Like, I mean, you just paying my bill. Like, don't get me wrong, you just paying my bills. That's not a relationship. Like, that's, I can't lie. Like, that's not a relationship.
But does you still have an obligation to do that, and you're 38 years old? What was you doing that whole time?
I can concur with that as well. Like, I feel like as a billionaire, would anybody in my family be homeless if I was a billionaire and I just had it like that? No.
Yes.
But well, okay.
If I don't fuck with them,
like,
I ain't never fuck with you.
I'm talking.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about? The immediate, your brother, sister, mama, daddy,
so
things
my
like.
brothers and sisters could be homeless. I don't give a fuck. But moving forward, yeah, it be that way.
Okay, this is true. This is true. Let's just say, for this sake, you got a healthy family. Right. Everybody mess with each other.
Okay.
Right.
In the immediate family. For me, I wouldn't leave nobody out like that unless, like I said, it was warranted disrespect like that. But I mean,
see, and I question if even with the disrespect, if I would.
Yeah, like it would be very like it would have to be way out there for me to like be like, all right, bro, you done, bro. Like, you really got me messed up right now. Like, you really have to push me to that point. Like,
right. So now, I mean, I know you don't know.
We already know how you rocking.
The Dre situation specifically, but just in general, like, if you're a billionaire, and let's assuming it's not something extreme, like somebody was a crackhead or nothing like that, should there ever be a point in time where you have a homeless child and you're a billionaire, even if you have your, discrepancies or whatever?
Sure. I mean, I feel like no, in theory, but unfortunately, that's not how life works. So I've seen, I've seen mothers act like and treat their daughters as if they never even held them against their chest.
Oh yeah.
Or gave birth to them at all. So it's like calling the police on them, knowing that that's a death sentence potentially when she got her 10-month-old infant. That type of shicey. So it's like, no. If I was a millionaire and that was my mama, she'd be homeless, period, because you willing to jeopardize my whole life over petty shit, over $50 over petty shit. And I'm not saying too much, it's not my situation. However, I'm just saying that not everybody is warranted that type of leniency and that type of luxury. I will say that people who have done me right, and for kids, there's a different set of circumstances with kids. Because when you're a parent, you're a parent. So there's going to be certain things that you can't help, certain disconnects between you and a child. You create a human that didn't ask for it. Like, there's different things that are going to come with that. So that's a little different when it comes to your parents or your siblings,
right.
definitely different. Like some of my siblings, if I was a billionaire today, I would probably go out of my way to make them bankrupt. To be real, like I would want to see. But you fucked up. Those are my dad's children. But those are my dad's children.
Wow.
Two of my dad's children. And those are two people. My dad is
not want to get on your bad side.
You shouldn't.
You gonna buy their job and fire them?
Oh God. Shit. Like really have you torn up forever. Like, and those are like two of my dad's kids, and they have disrespected not necessarily me firsthand, but my father, who is the best father that we could have been graced with, the most generous and genuine person and father you could ask for, even if he wasn't able to be present 24/7. If he was in another country, he was making sure that you and other village kids is getting shoes, education, books, school clothes. He does that for kids that ain't his, let alone. So he's showing out for his own kids out of just taking care of them, even if he can't raise them firsthand. But there's two of them that have openly disrespected him to the point to where it's like, y'all act like this not the man that he is. And to me, that's enough for me to be like, oh, so you want hands put on you. From me, and I'm the daughter who he's raised the most, so I know the most about him.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody who's been around him knows from his track record, he's been the same for 20, 30, 40 years.
But when it comes to that, and not to get in your business, but
I get you.
Usually some siblings can have different experiences.
And I understand that. And I get that everything's a timing thing. Like, yeah, you didn't have me in the 70s. So I understand that was different. I know there was differences, but I know that certain foundational character traits are the same, which is you're trying to take care of your kid. My dad quit technical school. My dad was going to school for chemistry and some other shit. He could have been doing great things. Could have been a doctor if he wanted to. But he quit school early at 19 to take care of his daughter and his family. If you already coming out the gate strong like that, foundational wise, and you continuing to do that for 30 plus years with all your kids, despite them having different mothers, and you're still sending money, and you're still sending money for family and other family friends' kids, and making sure you're helping people get an education on top of your kids being safe.
But they could have wanted something other than money.
And I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not saying that they're wrong for not having him around 24/7. Everything circumstantial sucks. I know that there's a certain jealousy put on me because he was around in most of my life. I get that. I can't help that. We got to get past that. As a grown-ass adult, you have to heal from certain things.
Because I can give you an
example.
And
that's circumstantial.
I can give you an example in this room right here. Me and little bro right here. We had the same dad. Totally different experiences growing up. But I've never tried to make him feel bad for it or project that on him. Even though I could technically, but I've never done that. He's probably still right now don't know a lot of the shit that I dealt with, and if I did, he probably would be like, that don't sound like the same dude. So I just feel like on both ends, siblings should be sensitive to each other when it comes to that. Versa. And Dre's daughter, I feel like that's probably some of her case, even though I don't know that situation through and through. Dre got kids from the wife he just divorced that he probably was there every day, Dr. Dre. Where he's putting the backpack on that kid and all that, and probably didn't do the same for the older one. But, he was financially taking care of her, but it's like she was missing something else. So I just feel like everybody should be sensitive to that.
I hear that. But I'm the youngest. I'm the baby. How am I the most understanding about this shit?
Right.
That's out.
Yeah, people are different maturities.
40, like 45, bro. I ain't talked to her in over 10 plus years. Almost 15 years.
Right.
Because you met our dad. When he raised you for the first 12 years of your life, make sure that you were said,
Yeah, I wasn't trying to personalize
it. I'm just giving you an example, too.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you an example. Like, it's.
I want you to think like I'm on your sibling's side.
No, you don't know my siblings. You can't be on their side. There's different nuances to the shit. What my dad was able to do for me, he wasn't able to do for them. What he did do with or to me, because he's a Jamaican father. He was hard. I'm a daughter. I'm not a son.
Right.
I'm an Americanized daughter. So I got it a lot harder than they could have ever thought to have gotten it, period. Just because they didn't experience it doesn't mean that they were a lot less loved or none of that. They kind of probably got saved in certain aspects, not having him so hard on you.
Right.
However, it's a timing thing. They need to grow up and be mature enough to understand it's a timing thing. He couldn't do what he was able to do for me 20 years later that he was able to do for you. Period. I'm understanding enough to understand that he can't do for me, or even when it comes to certain baseline things, brag about me, hold me in high regards for certain things, because I'm not the ideal daughter, because I'm not what you were looking for in success, and all your other kids failed, or all your other kids fucked you over, and I'm the best one, but I'm still fucking you over in my own different ways that hurt in their own different ways. You know, it's just, it's so many different variables that are hard because, of course, they change from situation to situation. But when it comes down to it, there's at least 2 siblings that I'm still working really hard to not hate. So if I was a billionaire today, they would definitely be neglected. Anybody else? Set. My parents would be set. My 2 sisters from my mom's side, they'd be set.
But there'd be another dynamic with black parents too, where sometimes they be like intentionally on some like, well, I had to struggle to get to being a billionaire, so
yeah, that shit is lame.
It's like, I thought the point was to get to that level so your kids wouldn't have to struggle the way that you did.
Yeah.
So,
but some people are so like have such a chip on their shoulder to where they're like, I had to go through this. And even my best friend's mom, like, feeling kind of envious or projecting anger towards you not having a struggle like they did. How you mad that I'm doing what you should as a parent not want me to have gone through, which is what you went through to struggle. But if because I'm excelling, you're mad and projecting and upset and feeling some type of way about it when you should be congratulating me and commending me. Not that it's looked for, but just out of, you know, objective speaking. Like, yeah, I mean, you're doing what you need to do.
It's like, y'all remember how Carlton got treated on Fresh Prince when he was trying to join that black... it's called fraternity, right?
Yeah.
When he tried to join the black fraternity, and they was like, you're not black enough, because he had a dad that actually was successful enough to put him in a position to where, you know, he has opportunities that they probably had to fight for even more. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It seems like, look at 50 Cent, like, he gets a kick out of his son having to struggle
that shit was so, like, I can't even lie. Like, I mess with 50, but like that part of his life was like him doing that to his kid.
That's
like,
for sure a stain that I always
that's lame, bro. Like, I can't even lie. Like, like you like kind of like having this, like, I guess, social media battle with your kid about like not providing for them.
And you bragging about it.
Yeah, like that's not cool.
Like, I'm rich as hell right now. I'm one of the most prominent people in American culture, and I'm proud of not providing for that particular son, you know, because I feel he disrespected.
But that also has to go with the whole house nigga thing, like in the sense that, I'm out in the field busting my ass, you in the house privileged and happy as hell, when in reality they don't know that the women in that house getting raped every other night. The women in that house getting beat even more severely because they dealing with things like, let's just say, cleaning their face or cleaning their feet, or like, let's say if cutting their food and you accidentally cut a white man. Could you imagine what happened to the women? Like, if they cutting something and they accidentally messed up or broke something go missing in that house. You are responsible. Not a baby could have took that junk and threw it out the window. You gonna die. So, like, it's just that common misconception of like, oh, well, all of us have to struggle to get ours. And they've drilled it into our heads.
That's that conditioning that unfortunately black people have on top of everything else on their back.
Like you said, the grass ain't always greener on the other side.
And even, I mean, I realized I didn't really speak on Dr. Dre's situation, but as far as daughter.
No, I didn't want y'all to. I was segueing just in general. For sure. Because we don't know Dre or his daughter. Yeah. I'm just saying, like,
one of them.
I just know that's an issue in the black community.
And that's the biggest thing that I wish the internet would understand, that no matter how many details this blog or whatever is telling you, you don't know every single detail.
I can't stand when somebody's like, but they look like they was doing so great, or it looked like they didn't.
We was just talking about that, right? Projections on social media of it looking a certain way.
It looked like that's the problem, but you don't know firsthand what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what's behind that picture. You don't know how long ago that picture was taken. You don't know why it was posted today, what it's trying to hide. You don't know nothing about that, and everything is circumstantial, so I don't take everything I see as face value. I take it as like, okay, it's out there.
I've seen women say like, this nigga really just came over here, took a quick picture with his baby, and then took off, and then posted the picture as if
talking
like,
about like I'm a good dad.
Yeah, I've been a great father all day and some spit. So
everybody trying to flex with something. So
yeah,
right. All right, let's move to the next one, man. LaMelo Ball went on a rant about school not really being important unless you're gonna be like a lawyer, a doctor, or something. And other than that, you probably not gonna need school. And I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I really hope he was talking about college. So we're gonna stay there.
Yeah. I think obviously he was talking about college. He had to be. Because I mean, that was really the only thing that he skipped. He went from while he was in Lithuania or whatever. He was still doing homeschool. Yeah. Like he was still doing school, but at the same time, to be real, he's not lying. Like regular school don't teach you as much as you should know. Like when I be going to school, like I've learned more in the my first 3 years out of high school. I learned more in those 3 years, like teaching myself and things like that, than I did in high school. Like he said, school for the most part is training you to follow directions. That's mainly it. It teaches you to follow directions. Yeah. That's it. So it that's why they say school ain't nothing doing but training you to be an employee.
I mean,
right. I've definitely heard that.
So for him to say like, unless you're gonna be doing science work or a lawyer or judge,
something, unless, and I've always said that as well. If your field, whatever it is you're trying to do, don't require you to go to school. I mean, if you don't know what you're gonna do, just go to school in the meantime because you don't know. But once you have a direction, like if school ain't required in that, then just go for what you going for. Because like I got one of my cousins who he went to school for 6-7 years getting his degree.
Don't even use it.
And he has a damn good job right now, making 30-something an hour, has a family, bought a home, everything. None of that spit got nothing to do with his degree.
Exactly.
None of that spit. And if anything, he probably could have been making more money right now if he would have started that earlier because it didn't require a degree for him to do what he's doing. So in a way, you could be hurting yourself by going to school in certain things. But if you don't know, I just feel like the networking, the relationships, you not knowing who you ever be in class with, college definitely has 100%.
It has its perks.
But it's not worth going into debt for the rest of your life. Which I think, because when we're kids, that's just what's drilled into us from our parents, from TV. Go to school. You gotta go to college. You gotta go to the best college, which is really the most expensive college. You gotta go to the best this. You gotta go to the best that. You gotta do that. But they don't like drill it in our head just as much as far as like just developing skills. You know what I'm saying? And it's like in 2021, college is probably, and they'll probably hate me for saying this, but college is probably less needed than ever before.
Oh, 100%.
You got certain degrees that people can go for that you can probably go on YouTube and learn. You got trade schools that charge $30,000, but you can go on YouTube and learn that same spit probably within like 2-3 weeks. It just depends on the person. You know what I'm saying? So I just, and I'm not like trying to spit on school because it, like I said, it does. Like if I would have never went to college, I have degrees, but if I would have never went to college, there's a lot of things in my life that I don't see happening. A lot of motivations that came that I don't see maybe me going towards. So it helped me in a lot of ways, but I don't use my degrees for spit.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it ain't like I got dance or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a degree that was supposed to be for like business-orientated stuff, but even though it's like a form of a business degree, you don't need a business degree to own a business. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said it perfectly. Like basically, you going for a degree. That's just you working towards working for somebody else. Like you know what I'm saying? That's all you doing. Which if that's cool for you, that's cool for you.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? There's just so many different sources and tools for you to get to certain places. Some of the most successful, a lot of the most successful people in the world or people in my world, either they're doing something that has nothing to do with the degree that they have, or they don't have a degree at all, and they still, you know what I'm saying? They still doing their thing. I have an uncle who I ain't never known this nigga to have a job, and he still legally makes hella money. This nigga been surviving just fine without ever having to work for somebody. So, what's your take on it? just the importance of college, and you somebody that has multiple degrees as well.
One.
Disclaimer. Okay, well, somebody that has a degree.
I'm the only person up here without one. Okay.
I have 1 degree. I have an AA, and yeah, I don't know. I can't fully be against it. One, I don't have that because I am fortunate enough to where my mom has a good job. She's a nurse, so we pay for all our shit, $15,000 plus.
Ooh, thank Jesus. Because man,
so we pay for that.
I can't relate.
Parents help pay for that, and then my ex's parents help pay for like my first semester. So it's
Okay.
like, but she was trying to do that to where when I go to university, then I can take out a student loan and not have as much debt.
Right.
So that's why we.
Yeah, I went to a JC first as well.
That's why we got the
My spit
I
ain't
tried to do
bad.
the same thing. They told me you get no
and then-
loans, no financial aid, no nothing.
And I don't get financial aid either because my mom makes too much. So it's like it really sucked to where
I
it's
will
like
say what I
really
did,
had to-
but let me not incriminate myself on camera.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. I can see you guys' point of view and people's point of view when it's like you don't need it to just rack up debt and not use what you went to school for. However, on the flip side, I have seen the benefits and how it's changed my life and saved my life to go to school. Like,
and it's good to be a part of something in your adult
my
life. You know what I
lowest
mean?
points in college, but I also am part of the group, the very small group of people who started a BSU on our college campus for the first time ever in that school's history.
Okay.
I was around I stuck around to, have my art in the student jury exhibition, the gallery or whatever. I've met people and art teachers who were like mentors who have full-blown rally for advocation of my life because I was in a hard time. They're like, anybody who's had Tiana in their class knows that she's worth saving, and we got to do everything we can to help her stay with it because I've had people who've seen my potential and brought out that potential in me. I never thought I could be an artist until I had my first art teacher who changed my life and helped save my life. Art saved my life. So for me, college is different. The exposures I've gotten from it has been life-changing and life-saving in a lot of different ways. I've made a lot of colleagues and friends, but I've experienced a lot.
To me, that's the biggest asset to college.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. Like, I met two of my best friends on that in college when my first year. Tyler and Tyrell, they actually twins. We didn't even know we was from the same city until we met a mutual friend. So I ended up in college being homeless. Like, I was sleeping on park benches. I was sleeping in my car, like really like struggling. Like I ain't have nowhere to turn. I wasn't gonna turn back to my parents because I was the one who moved out there. Like I didn't want to. It's embarrassing to call your parents and say, "Mom and Dad, I'm fucking homeless." Like so, it was like, bruh, they found out and basically was like, bruh, come sleep on the couch. Like, nah, bro. Like, we might not be able to give you no room, bro, but you can sleep on this couch, bro. We not gonna leave you outside like that. You can sleep on my floor. You can do whatever, bro. We gonna figure something out. And like to this day, like I would do whatever for them boys. Like one of them actually got in a real bad car accident. He called me. He was like, "You busy?" And like he was like fighting for his life, like legit fighting for his life. And then Twin was like, "You busy? I need somebody to take him to the hospital." Tyler just got in a car accident. I said, "Bro, I'm on the way, bro." And then when he got in the car, I was like, "Bro, don't ever ask me if I'm busy for you, bro. Don't ever ask me if I'm busy for you." So like she said, the connections that you can make in college are like lifelong. Like you can make lifelong connections.
And they weren't even all for me. They weren't even all through like school. Having my roommates. Some of my last roommates I had in the house I was staying at. They lived out.
My uncle met his wife like that. She didn't even go to the school. Well, no, he didn't go to the school, but she went to the school, and his brother went to the school. He ended up finding his wife. You know what I'm saying? Just from being that. My cousin, I was just telling y'all about. He don't use his degree for his job, but the person he's married to, he met in college. So,
which is one. I don't have that luxury. However, I've met cool people who.
But I'm sure you know a lot of people that have said like, "Yeah, I met my husband and my wife."
For me, it's like they're family. Like my old roommates, they're like family.
Right.
They just visited me after they didn't spend like 2 months traveling across the country. They was Arizona, came to Lancaster to visit me when they need to go back up to Humboldt. They went out of their way with their cat, the family, to come see me when I missed their wedding this summer. I wasn't able to get out there to be there, for them and in the mix. But it's, that brought almost tears to my eyes because it's like I regarded y'all as family anyways, outside of before I left and all that. Y'all further solidify every time we talk. And you just going out of your way during a full-blown road trip when y'all, just begging to get home. Y'all got another family friend whose wife is in labor right now. Like, y'all trying to get home. Y'all still took the chance to come see me, knowing that I wasn't in the space to come see you guys at the moment and haven't been. Right. And that kind of loyalty, even friends that I've had just a couple classes with, y'all done bought the most art. Y'all done supported me the most. Like, y'all have given me, y'all the ones that are my most loyal customers and the people who have the most of my art. That is paid for and given and whatever. It's like some of my best supporters are people that I've met for that short amount of time. And that brief span, it's changed my life for real. I definitely think college has its pros and cons. I don't think you should just do it for other people. I think you should do it
for you.
Perfectly said.
For you.
Do not do that don't do it because somebody else told you to do it.
And if you're in school,
if that's a part of your path, then
and you're thinking about like giving up and stuff, and you're close, because I'll say this for anybody who's close, got one semester left, don't give up. What's the option? It's either you give up and you have to start over one day, or just super derail yourself,
you don't waste it all.
That's
that
funny
money.
you say
or you
that.
just finish it up.
I was 2 semesters away from masters, and I stopped.
See,
you wildin', B.
Yeah,
but look, let me explain to y'all why. At the time, I had an option to start traveling all around the country and working and making good money.
Fair enough.
Go finish those.
Everything's
and that's the whole point LaMelo's making. Like, there was a project, like, no matter of fact, not a project, but a question asked in my sister's, like, she went to a trade school, and the guy was like, how many of you would just take the full ride to college, or would take the $2 million NBA contract straight out of high school, fully guaranteed? 98% in the class raised their hand for the college scholarship.
And the 2% that didn't.
My sister was the only person who raised their hand for the $2 million. And the professor said, the rest of y'all are fucking stupid. Because with that $2 million, even if you don't pan out in the NBA, you can take that money and go right back to school.
Right.
Or start a business or something. There's no, like LaMelo said, for him, there was no point in him going to college. What was the need? What was the need?
And then and I'm glad that these athletes and celebrities aren't so PC these days, because there was a time, like, if you said that 20 years ago, he would have got killed for that. Man. You know what I'm saying? I remember Vince Carter, I don't know if you might remember this, when he didn't go to Game 3 because he went to go graduate.
He actually made it back in time, halfway through. That's
okay, so I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he flew back halfway through.
And remember how he got killed for that. You know what I'm saying?
Like LeBron James, like Roy Williams, former coach of the UNC Tar Heels, will tell you this. He walked into one of LeBron's games and said, he walked out after the first quarter and said, "There's no point in me talking to this kid about coming to college. He'd be wasting his time coming to college. He would miss out on millions and millions of dollars coming to college."
And he would have, because he signed a super multi-million with Nike like immediately.
I think that last, not necessarily warning, but statement of caution was more so for the people who have, how do I put this? They're in their last semester, but they want to give up because they did not graduate at the time that they were expecting.
Okay, gotcha.
I feel that.
I didn't get that fully out, because that was my
situation
where it's like, I didn't graduate when I was supposed to or on track to. Ended up having to take a whole nother semester. If I didn't, I wouldn't have learned, connected with some of the best teachers. Wouldn't have had the experiences I've had. That last semester was one of the most monumental semesters in my life, because I was on the brink of life. I almost took my life. Like, it was very insane, but I could have not had to do that technically, but at the same time, I was going to give up too. And my teacher is like one of my best mentors in the art section of school. She was telling me, like, what are you going to do? Are you just going to give up? Because that's literally either you drop out or you just take another semester and just have it take a semester longer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. For me, it takes simple logic for me to keep going for certain things. Like, I can't do what I want to do if I'm dead. So I guess I got to stay alive.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be doing all this college previously, it's either I do another semester or I give up, and I refuse to give up after all this shit I done did. So I guess I just got to take another semester, and that's that. Just to end up wanting to take another semester, but I ended up graduating without knowing it. So just little things. Like, I took classes I didn't need to. I did things I didn't need to, but ultimately I stuck with it. And like my ex, he bowed out a semester away from a bachelor's. Granted, he has a career in the funeral industry, which he'll always have because everybody gonna always be dying. Yeah. So that's always gonna be there.
I knew she was gonna say
and he
that.
can always and if you're one semester away or 2 semesters away, you're still gonna be 1 or 2 semesters away. So you can always
go but it was just that matter of like you
use
close
that
this chapter out. You could have closed this out while you in this area, while you at this school, while you in this program or whatever it was. You could have closed this out, but instead you focus on the money. You want fast cash. You want. Granted, the only thing that makes it kind of okay for him is that he had a career. You went to the funeral industry.
That's
not
more
going
so
nowhere.
the point. I think that LaMelo was trying to make. If you have a plan,
if you have a career,
and things like that, like if you not normal like an NBA player, I'm not going to college, bro. Like if I know that I could possibly make, I know for a fact I'm going to make X amount of money without this degree, and the degree I was going for, if I was just going to school to make money.
And even if you don't want to like work so hard to like maintain it or keep it forever, I would hope that a motherfucker smart enough to take a very lucrative deal or opportunity and piece and pinch and save as much as you can over time as possible.
You can always go back to school.
You have some type of, because some scholarships, some opportunities, you can't. That's not your money to spend. That's money for what you're doing. Right. But for the cases where you can't, you better save every ounce of money you can in the time frame that you are allowed to for whatever amount of money you got for this amount of time. Right. Save, because that's going to come in clutch. That rainy day fund is always something worth having.
That's facts.
And it's always useful. Being an adult human comes with little hiccups and hitches that you can never predict, but it's always good to be prepared for it. And that's something just for any adult listening.
and one more point I can make about going to college, another big pro, because I've heard this from a lot of people that I've been cool with. People getting jobs from professors. To your point about having relationships with certain professors, certain people, recommendation letters. You don't know who your professor knows. You don't know some professors really like. I don't know if y'all experienced this. Some of them really be having bread, like and really be super like successful really in their field or connected to somebody in that field. And some of them are like just watching you and how you carry yourself, or just you networking and your personality will be like, hey, after this class is done, I really want to hire you to do this for me, or I've seen this. I'm about to start a business. I want to help you. I want you to help me get this off the ground, and we'll be partners with it. So
I know firsthand I have at least 5 different art professors alone that I can get a banging letter recommendation from.
Right.
For any
and that's
school,
the important part.
For any major
if you gonna work that spit, work that spit. If you there, you feel me?
Like anybody,
and we'll leave it at that. We touched on this a little bit last night. It's this viral conversation right now, and it seems like y'all both got the same attitude towards it of who eats first in the house. Once this traditional role, it looks like the wife finished cook. Once the wife finished cooking, who's supposed to eat first, the husband or the kids? Y'all just have.
No, I'll let ladies first.
Both of y'all attitudes was with disgust right now. I can't believe y'all niggas.
I'll say this before she goes. It's just like the certain stranglehold that some of these debates have on the world. It's just like I just be sitting up here like, bro, move on, bro. Like,
thank you. What I told him last night was that first of all, I see people be real hot and heated over this debate. 1, I don't care enough. I don't care. 2, if y'all keep asking me, I'm gonna eat first.
Try.
I'm making my plate first. Y'all go fit for yourselves and make y'all own damn plate. Your daddy can make your plate. I'm not worried about it because if y'all ask me again, I'm eating myself. I'll do the dishes later, and I will go about my business. Because what y'all not gonna do is bother me about some stupid ass shit. Because as far as I'm concerned, when I'm done cooking, it don't matter who get the plate first. I just cooked a full blown meal. Y'all better be happy y'all got a meal in front of y'all. It don't matter. Like, but granted, I was talking to my best friend about it today, and I was like, it's different. I was trying to think about what I did in my relationship. Different. I don't have a kid. I have a cat. He can get kibble whenever. He can get kibble whenever he needed. However, when I used to cook, I would give a plate to my dude, my ex at the time, or my boyfriend at the time. And then I'll eat. But that just comes with the territory of I cooked. So yeah, of course I'm gonna clean after I cook. I'm gonna have to do certain things after I'm done cooking just off of how I roll before I even eat. And sometimes, half the time, if I'm cooking a full-blown meal, I won't even be hungry by the time I'm done cooking because that's how it works sometimes. Yeah. So I'll eat later. But I was thinking about how I don't know about kids. Kids are a different factor. It depends on the age of the kids. My best friend said, she said it depends on the age of the kids for one. But ultimately, like, typically I asked my male friend last night. He said, well, that's how I was raised. The husband gets fed first. Like, and my grandfather broke it down to me, and that's just, in our family, that's traditional, and that's what I've been raised by. That's the thing. And I'm just like...
Did you tell him traditional don't mean it's right?
No, absolutely. But that I wanted his opinion. I didn't want to get into a debate with him. Yeah. Right. I just wanted his opinion on it just to see from a different guy's point of view. Because it's like, for me, like I said, I don't care. I'm not in the situation. That's a real wild hypothetical because I'm still trying to get past like, oh, I'm gonna have a child. Right. I'm having a child. Like, I'm getting married. I have a man like that's long term and not just somebody I'm dating for a little bit, whatever. I'm married or something. Like, these are hypotheticals that are way beyond my reach right now. So I don't give a fuck who gets fed first. I'm eating. When I eat, y'all eat. We all adults or we all human. Right. We know how to feed ourselves. Like I said, if it's an infant. We reasonable around here. The innocence ain't got nothing to do with the pettiness. So babies get fed. Period. If this man pissed me off for the day, he expecting a meal on the table, he not getting it. Get your ass up. Oh, yeah, you got two hands like the rest of us. We're not even talking about pettiness. We
need that wife that like world. That, you know what I'm saying, that calls you out your name as she slams the plate on the
yeah, that's
table.
Cute, but like, you might get slapped inside your head with some more shit.
Right.
I can't just do that. Like, I have to slap you too.
God damn, I need to slap too.
Like, drop the plate, pop you in the head, keep it pushing, and you're going to have to come with these dishes later, or you might have to do them because it depends on what he did. You feel me? It all depends. That's it. I'm not married. I don't plan on being married anytime soon. I ain't got no kids. Don't plan on having no kids anytime soon. So I ain't got to have to worry about this problem for a very long time, so I really don't.
Well, it's crazy that y'all two had this like I don't care take because before it was even like a topic on the show, I had asked my girl about it just to see what she thought, and she does have a kid. She said the same exact spit. Like, that spit is so stupid. I don't give a damn. For me, she was like, it depends on what the circumstance is. If you just came from work and you got to get up early, I'll make like it don't matter. Everybody come eat. Like,
yeah, like by 7, by like 7 or 8 years old, you normally about fixing your own plate. Like you can,
a couple sides
you can scoop and use the tongs to get chicken.
Right.
So. Like, and then like, if we talking about like some infants or whatever, are you dead ass serious? Gonna be a grown grown man? You finna pitch a fit because I fed these infants first.
You mad because you wanted to wait for me to feed the infants and I get your lazy ass up to go make your own plate so you can eat when you wanted to instead of having to wait for me to cut up this chicken for these infants because you know they can't chew. Like, you know they can't chew it up.
And then my thing is, so when you at a cookout or whatever, who gets the food first? Women, children, older people, right? Why is it a problem when you at the house? Oh, fuck my kids. They don't get to eat. Fuck them. I eat first. Like,
I'm the man of the house.
Like, bro, any cookout you go to, they be like, all right, women.
I know for sure. Anytime there's a Thanksgiving or event, kids is always number one.
Get them out the way first and foremost.
Definitely, like let's get them out the way so I can sit down and enjoy my meal.
Right.
Stupid ass debate.
Like, no. It's not worth talking about.
I'm sorry. Man.
I just wanted to touch on the viral time.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about the people on the internet.
What's happening last night? Like, what the
She said the same exact thing, bro. That's why I laughed when you reacted like that. Because I already knew how she was coming.
Like, no, absolutely not.
All right, let's see how y'all feel about this one. OnlyFans is canceled.
Oh, you mean like
people celebrate it? How y'all
feel? The explicit content.
Yeah, the sexual.
Yeah,
my bad. Not literally canceled, but the only thing that people know OnlyFans for is canceled.
OnlyFans is actually really dumb for what they doing because that's the huge corner of their market. So like y'all, I don't know if you remember when somebody brought it to my attention. Tumblr was sold for $1.1 billion to Yahoo in like 2013 13
That's what happened
or
with the
whatever.
censorship shit.
Yeah,
Because
so Yahoo
Tumblr
stuff.
used to got super censored after
Yeah,
a while because
and
Tumblr
then-
didn't used to be what it is.
Oh, and
today.
Tumblr used to be like for what?
Yeah,
For
like
people
they-
to just
Adults.
Yeah,
Period.
they make
Oh.
adult content on there,
Oh,
things like
that's
that.
what it was for?
Sex
Adult gifts
whatever,
and things
but
like that.
adult
Oh, wow.
shit, it's blogging for
Yeah,
adults.
so-
It's not for kids.
Exactly. Tumblr did that. Guess how much it sold for? After Yahoo sold it for after they did that.
Not a million.
$3 million
really?
compared to 1.1
Yeah.
billion
Wow.
that
But
you
was still a
purchased it
million,
for.
but that's
You
fine.
lost that much money just because you censored it, and that
and you
that
see
was
that
the.
happening again.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie, I see that happening with OnlyFans. I get that that's not their only thing. Like they have cooking shows and things like that. But what is OnlyFans known for?
Sexual.
Amateur porn. Sorry.
And it became very prevalent during the pandemic.
Definitely.
It's a lot of women that was eating during this COVID.
Males
COVID
too.
was good to some
You'd be
some of these
surprised, but
women,
males was eating on there too.
oh yeah,
Women
I'm
watch
cool with
just
one.
as much porn as men do.
No, well, it'd be women and gay niggas, but I'm cool with one a nigga that's on OnlyFans. He had like a little reality show following.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna blast him, but he had a little reality show following. So you know what I'm saying. He
I'm
had
not-
that.
it
alone.
don't even matter. I'm
But
sure he was
told
getting that
me- but
bread.
He told me it was like half and half. It's a lot of niggas, but he was like, I don't give a damn. Like I'm not doing split with them. But
Yeah, like-
if they buying the content, they buying the content. But
And you
yeah,
bringing
so
in
yeah,
some
you're
good
right,
money,
it is
wasn't it?
some meals on-
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, exactly.
He was eating for
that
sure.
shit. Man.
What you think? I know you ain't got no OnlyFans or nothing.
Oh, do
but-
you? Do you know that? Don't forget I'm a dancer. I technically
alright.
do have OnlyFans. I don't talk about it because that's not. I have different.
Well, even if you do, you're not prevalent on there like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't promote the split.
That's my thing.
You don't promote it.
But that's what I'm saying.
We're
I
gonna
have
find it
different
after the show,
avenues
JC.
and different-
No, I'm just playing.
different ways. I have my personal page. I have my art page. I have a whole dancer page that is only for my dancing material, which would mean access to OnlyFans and other stuff. People don't know about that shit. Only people who
Exactly.
come across it is people in Humboldt who stumble or know people that at the club that I worked at. So
Okay.
that's how that worked. But ultimately, I think it's unfortunate. But I was upset when people like Bella Thorne fucked up the game for people
Right.
last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
When she
I didn't
had
like
fucked up
that.
the game,
I didn't
making
like that
over
either.
nothing. And it's like, even if people are just selling feet pictures, even if people are just doing lingerie, softcore shit, whatever, it's taking away the safe space for sex workers to be able to make their own terms and conditions.
What
on
exactly
how
did
they
she
wanna-
do?
Made OnlyFans.
She
Oh,
made
she
her own
did?
business.
Oh, okay.
But she was scamming people in the sense of like kind of trolling with it, as opposed to normal sex workers who have
Got you.
this.
And I think she set her
Oh,
up.
you
'cause
talking
that's-
about like those people who's just posting their Instagram pictures on their
Or
OnlyFans?
something of that nature.
Okay.
When, basically when celebrities
We're not posting
when
nothing
celebrities got
on
on there,
Yeah.
it hurts the
fucked up
market.
Yeah,
the
it
normal
did.
people
It did,
because
definitely.
It's like, yeah, technically, of course, everybody's gonna want to see these celebrities behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Duh. Like, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, cause
Moving
I ain't gonna
forward,
lie, boy.
it's like
It's a few of them, boy. They had one, boy.
it sucks.
I'm
Man,
sorry,
I ain't
no.
gonna lie. I raised the
I-
eye when Jordan Woods made one. I was like, you
wait,
should-
she got one?
Yeah, but it's not. It's not
Oh
what you
man, boy, I'm about to.
Trust,
And
because
then
I
the
seen
car,
people.
I was about, boy, look at here.
No, 'cause
Take
some
all
people-
the money. Take it all, boy.
Nah, because some
Man.
people be like, I see people talking about it immediately after. Like, trust me, it's not gonna be what you think it
Man,
is.
look,
But that was the one time I ain't never got on the OnlyFans, but that was the one time where I was like, hold
Yeah,
up, my
you
nigga,
debating
Jordan
it, boy.
Woods. I don't know. But yeah, continue.
I'm sorry.
My bad. We
Continue.
had a
I'm
moment.
sorry.
Okay.
Jordan Woods is sexy as hell. I'm sorry.
I mean, she cute. She is. She's fine. I'm not paying money for no bitch, personally. Or nigga. Don't get me wrong. I'm not paying for dick to see dick either. Like, it's not that deep. I'll wait for a leaked picture or something. I really
Yeah, I
don't
never
That's
got
fair.
that. Isn't
That's
porn
fair.
free? Where did
Yeah.
that? Where
Thank
did
you.
that come from?
Okay, so there's one. Okay, so for me, being a dancer, I know other strippers. I know sex workers. I am in that world technically in most circles. However, it's a matter of fucking up the game for sex workers. A safe space for them. Clubs aren't safe all the time. You can get lucky with safe clubs and not being solicited, not being touched on when you're not supposed to be, not having people taking advantage of you or people trying to run your shit as opposed to you being the independent contractor that you are. OnlyFans made it safe in the sense of you control what content you make. You can set your prices. You can set your rate. You can pick and choose what you want to show, when you want to show it, how you want to show it.
And it protected women from that crooked porn industry too.
And
they was able to use that where it's like we don't need this middleman no more.
Because there's actually a movie, I forgot what it's called. It came out in theaters and it was basically porn, but the whole movie, like, the woman was coerced by her husband, like you gonna do this or else type shit. Like, you gonna basically get fellatio on screen or else. You gonna have sex on screen
like
or
it kind of
else.
helps in some senses. I can see where, I can see both sides of it where it can also not help. But I feel like in some cases it can help with sex trafficking in the sense of independence. Being able to not only, set your own material through and through, be your own director, be your own cameraman, be your own person who's thinking of creative and shit like that concepts. On top of that, you get your money firsthand. You get taxed for whatever subscription or whatever. If it's a $10 subscription, you're going to make $8 out of that $10. What's $2?
Right.
That kind of thing. If you have stuff where it's like, oh, pay to unlock this content, pay to do this. Me, I've never done that to a stream. Personally, I'm not going to speak too much on the shit because I don't need people in my business. Moving forward, it's never been that serious for me. But I've definitely understood that it could have been a serious avenue for money making for me. I just don't use it. I've woken up one day with like $450 just sitting there for me with little to nothing on there.
Well, maybe I need to get on that train before it closes.
All stuff that I have posted on Instagram.
Hey, you can run it up in 1 month.
This is gonna make you mad. Think about how much money you could have made.
I mean, and there's that too. That's kind of frustrating, at least for myself, where it's like, damn, y'all trying to censor shit, and not even get a chance to like
really go crazy.
Do what I wanted to do for real. Like I said, I left it alone for like 4 months. Came back to like $450, which was cool for having little to nothing, like stuff I posted on my regular Instagram type shit. So little to nothing. I mean, I'll be wilding, but still.
Do you agree or disagree with him though? Do you think they're gonna last?
What, the ban or the censorship?
Well, yeah, if they stay firm to that, like we're censoring the sexual explicit content, do you think they will last?
I feel like they'll still be a business, but they ain't gonna be as big as they was. My bad.
But he definitely took the right one up because I mean, we just talked about Tumblr. It's still gonna have people in there because I've seen people do like fitness shit. Like I know a nigga who do fitness stuff. But for me, it's like I think it's.
But they got Patreon.
And that's where I feel like it's fucking retarded. For me personally, people who do anything outside of online cam or fantasy, sexually sensual, anything outside of that nature on OnlyFans is abusing the platform personally. Because like there's plenty of other shit for this. Y'all need to leave this for the avenue. We barely get the few avenues we do. We get chastised for being in the club. Chastised if a woman wants to fuck who she wants to fuck for whatever rate she wants to fuck for. Chastised for doing the shit in their house by themselves, not even with other motherfuckers.
People was really celebrating. Did y'all see that? Yeah. Like people was celebrating. I didn't care here nor there, but I was like, y'all why are y'all happy at somebody losing the way they get their coins? Like, if anything, I looked at it like that's a cold little hustle. You know what I'm saying? I know women that was buying literally was buying houses, or women that damn near touched $1 million. Some of them that I didn't know personally did touch $1 million. Like,
it's easy.
How do you hate on that?
At some point, it was easy to be like top 10%, top 15%.
Like we just said the other day, earlier today. People hate success when they see some like these people on OnlyFans. Like I had to check myself at first too. I was like, why do I feel this way? Like like it's that instant human intuition to be envious, to be jealous. And then I was like, hold up. Like I did it like as soon as I looked at it, I was like, dang, I'm tripping. Like why am I mad that she's doing something that I'm too embarrassed to do? I won't get on screen naked. She will. That's how she made her guap. I can't be mad.
Niggas who think of females who dance, I will never feel bad for working in a club and being paid to be looked at, not touched, not naked.
Oh, me?
No pussy out, no penetration, no touching me, and I'm getting paid hundreds of dollars in a night to be looked at, and they go on with their own fantasies and do what they need to do and pay me forward.
Yeah. But they don't leave nothing to the imagination these days at a strip club.
No, it depends on
where you go. Me personally,
it depends on where
but
you
me
go.
personally at a strip club, I'm not finna. Oh, I'm sorry.
I worked at a strip club that required pasties, 2 pairs of underwear. You did not let that one of those pairs of underwear touch the ground, or it was gonna be a problem. You do not wear certain amount. You don't wear like just G-strings and shit. I worked at a fairly moderate and safer club for my taste. I don't feel comfortable just sitting there pussy touching poles where everybody else is pussy touching. There's sanitation for me that people don't be looking at. Like, maybe we shouldn't have so much exposure. I don't even be in lake water. So, like, I'm just weird about stuff like that. But, yeah, no, for people, niggas be quick to feel like if a female is on a pole, even if she's doing pole dancing for fitness, I can say off experience, I did that before I even thought about dancing. You quick to be a hoe. You quick to be perceived as fucking for money for whatever reason. Like, you can be seen leaving the club by yourself every single time and never flirt with a nigga outside of your job or anything. Yeah.
And they'll still
think. Bitches have full blown tried to slut shame me like, oh, you fuck for money. I made $700 in a night. A bitch who was a stripper who didn't go to work like she needed to, which is why she felt the need to say some shit. Talking about, oh, you didn't make that money just dancing. You had to have fucked. I didn't. I didn't open my legs at all.
No, because I did hear strippers don't make a lot if they don't have
certain clubs, and it's like.
But me, I've also heard from people that $60 is the rate for paying for sex, and I would never. Like,
I thought it was 40.
And even
hey,
out of pocket. And that's the problem. Like, I can never. I don't understand.
He's out of line, but he's right.
No, and I've heard from other niggas because I'm not that bitch.
Back home in Florida. $40 to get you a good night from some girls. Like, no cap. I was like, y'all paying that much? I'm like, but these girls I wouldn't touch personally.
Speaking candidly,
no, I've always
I have not done it.
I don't mess with prostitutes, but if I was to, if you accept $40, I'm scared to even touch you.
I'm
you're
terrified.
Cool with $40,
I'm terrified.
That's all it take? Hell
well,
no.
Who else you done touched for $40? Like, nah.
That's nothing. I mean, I don't. When I've been told that by niggas trying to solicit, I'm like, really? Like, that's the rate.
The magic number.
Like, I never knew that it was like $40 to $60. Like,
for me, I'm not even paying that, bro.
That
I'm
people
sorry.
didn't care about themselves like that. That's first and foremost.
Y'all load up X videos, Pornhub or something, bro. I'm not paying for.
I mean, I wish you would have been. We just had a topic about that though last episode of like you still be spending money one way or another most of the time. This is very true, but I'm sorry. Like, it's just something about my mind. I cannot directly give you money for sex. So it's a mental pride thing.
Yeah, like.
Because I bet you'll spend on $100 dinner.
Because we're both having dinner. I'm also eating dinner, nigga. If I'm sitting up there wanting to have sex with you, I'm gonna wanna like put my tongue in you and all this. Like, I want to get nasty. So you gonna enjoy this too. This ain't just for me. So
that's fair.
Like, if I'm paying you, fair. It's got to be just for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. There's no enjoyment in sex when it's just for one person. Like, if the girl has to enjoy it too. I don't understand dudes who just be going in there ramming the girl's uterus and
so
junk
you're saying
like that.
$900 is for the time. It's not like you paying for her.
Yeah, I'm not paying for
but
her.
What if she has that? All right.
But what if it's like
my bad? Like
$900 for 30 minutes? Then what? But it was a great 30 minutes.
You said $900 for 30 minutes?
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way. Nah, I'm sorry. Pornhub X videos would have been loaded up real quick.
It gotta be like Jordan Woods coming at me like that or something.
Even her, I'm not doing it. Sorry.
I'll think about it.
I think twice about it, but I'm like, nah, you ain't got that, bro. You gonna be missing rent. Nah, just go ahead. I'd ask her how much for a picture, and then yeah, that's it.
Did she say 300 anyway?
That nigga stopped for a second. Yeah, that nigga have a quick answer for that.
Oh, whatever you want, but it's 300. Then what?
We might have to talk about it.
Okay,
we can negotiate. We can maybe 250. You might have me. Yeah, 250. You might have me. 300 is still a little bit too steep for me.
Nigga, it's crazy. In real life, Woods will tell you to add 3 zeros behind that.
Oh, definitely. Without question. I can't even walk into her DM, let alone walk up to her.
Cat, you lucky bastard. All right, we off.
Boy, Cat better hope I don't catch him in traffic. Boy,
man, it was crazy for me because I already couldn't stand that nigga as a player. So when he got with her, I was like, "You mother."
Y'all really pressed about her. What's the next topic? Y'all been
don't hate,
act
bro.
like she had a topic.
okay, let's not act like you ain't like.
I mean, she tried.
So
Don't get me wrong, she
okay,
tried her ass
so
crazy.
who's somebody who you be pressed over like that? Just real quick before we go to the next topic.
I mean, I love me some Meg. She's wonderful.
Okay.
But even that, like, I'm trying to stick to the schedule. There's things to do. There's things to do.
I'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
This the last.
If anything, I'll drive.
Anyway. Hey, and this honestly might be our longest episode thus far. Is our first episode. This might be the longest one.
Okay, cool. I done broke a
I
record
feel
while
like
I'm
we're
there.
about to hit a milestone right now.
It's cool.
But yeah, so this is the AGM conclusion dialogue. Our tradition here. I told you about it last night. This is like our ending controversial topic, and due to the R. Kelly trial going on, I thought it was a good time to ask y'all: is we muting R. Kelly?
Fuck R. Kelly. That's all I got to say about that. Fuck R. Kelly. I ain't gonna lie, that nigga a pedophile, bro. Like, you married Aaliyah while she was 16, bro. Like, that alone was like.
Would you listen to his music?
I didn't listen to R. Kelly before this. I'm not gonna say
that's why you didn't care.
Hold on, pause. Time out. Pause. Hold on. Let me say
that's
this.
That's like saying cancel Jerry Lee Lewis. Nigga, you don't care. You didn't listen to him.
Hold on, pause. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like R. Kelly didn't have any talent, though. I'm not gonna sit up here and say like
you acted like Eminem, didn't?
That's Eminem, though. Damn it, Eminem, though.
Yes,
He don't. Back to R. Kelly.
He do.
Back to Robert Kelly.
He do.
I'm not gonna sit up here and act like he ain't wrote some of the greatest songs of all time, like he ain't sung some of the greatest songs of all time. Matter of fact, hold on, I had listened to what's the soap opera thing, the singing thing. I did. Trapped in the Closet. Yeah, I did.
Not Weird Al's
Hey, the YouTube version.
That's my shit. Weird Al's version, he went in, he did his shit, but no.
But yeah, Trapped in the Closet. That was like a huge, like, kind of like different thing to bring to the whole game. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna act like what he did wasn't like groundbreaking and things like that. But nigga, like, bro, we talk about Michael Jackson and R. Kelly in the same boat.
That was my point, nigga.
Okay,
R.
that's
Kelly's
fine.
Canceled. Michael Jackson ain't. That was my whole point.
But what I'm saying is, if you got one person who come out and said that they lied and was trying to get money and shit, the one scammer that did try to get I don't know about the other situation. Like I said, I don't know about the other accusations, because when this accusation came out, I was literally a little kid. Like, the only thing I knew Michael Jackson
That's
for.
fair. I didn't know. I didn't know how young you was. I thought you was closer to my age.
No. Like, that's what I'm saying. So, like, for me, like, you don't even really know what's going on. Like, it's like you just heard Michael Jackson touch some little kids, and like your mom was like, we don't listen to him no more. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And that's if your family was the one to believe that he did it, because other ones would be like, he didn't do that shit.
Like I said,
and that's what most black families did. I don't know what world that nigga was living in.
But what I'm saying,
most black families was saying like, nah, Michael Jackson ain't touched them boys. He ain't touched them kids. All the comedy. The only one that was bold enough to call out Michael Jackson was Cat Williams. That was the only comedian I remember on the platform that was bold enough to call him out.
What I say happened is probably this. He was doing little kid shit as a grown-ass man trying to get his childhood back because of what childhood he had. And that's what made it so fucking wrong. But at the same time, I will not put anything past anybody. I will not put anything past I'm not saying for a fact he did not do it.
I said, talking about Michael, right?
Yeah, I said I think this may have happened. If you look at his childhood and his track record about his childhood, he was one of the biggest stars since about age 7. He didn't have any childhood. Definitely not with his father. So
there's a lot of black kids ain't had no childhood.
I get that. Hold on. Let me finish my statement. Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on.
I've got something to talk about.
So hold on. So then you got this man. He went and bought that big ass ranch for what? He bought a fucking
to attract kids.
No, hold on, bro.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Okay.
Bro, with a big ass amusement park, bro. That is something a kid would do. That is something somebody who wanted a childhood back would do. But like I said, I do not know what the fuck happened.
Let me
on
ask
that
you
ranch.
this, because I love when y'all bring the whole he ain't have a childhood thing. He was just trying to recapture that. If you was watching a interview right now of a 42-year-old man, right, who was accused of touching little boys, and you see the interviewer ask him, "Do you think it's okay for you to sleep in a bed with children that aren't yours?" And he smiles and says, "Yes, I think that's a beautiful thing." How would you respond to that?
Once again, like I said, I'm not putting it past him. I'm not saying that he definitely didn't do it. That's why I said. I said
very small, very detailed thing out of the grand scheme of things. Can I help? Can I?
Go,
okay.
But Michael Jackson did say that, though.
Okay,
fair enough. I'm not saying he didn't.
Moment. That's one interview moment, and that's fine. He might have.
It's one disgusting interview moment to say that.
But I hear you. But he's human. That's where mental health and humanity and giving a break comes in. And I get you.
Y'all crazy.
And I hear you. But I'm saying,
y'all know if that was any regular 42-year-old.
That's what we're saying. Like, he's not regular. He was not regular.
Yes, he is, because his name is Michael Jackson. Bro. That gives him a stamp like something that we would criticize a regular 42-year-old man for. It's cool for you to say that. Bro. We're gonna just roll past that. That's cool for you to say. It's okay for you to sleep in a bed with children that aren't yours. That's okay for you to say because you're Michael Jackson.
I did not say that was okay to say. I'm not saying that.
You're talking about one moment. Can we get out of that one moment for a second? I want to get back to what he was saying because me and my mom have openly had a conversation about this where I've broken this down. That exact thing where it's like, yes, we are talking about, let's go to psychology for a moment. A child and a man who psychologically was stripped from any chance of being a normal fucking child, period. He was doing Jackson 5 from the time he was 5. Mm-hmm. They was all talented and doing shit. With Joe Jackson as a father, from what they say, his abusiveness and the rigidness of them being entertainers only, why wouldn't you create an amusement park when you've never got a chance to be in one? Or the few times you did, you were mobbed the whole time and you didn't get a chance to be on a fucking Ferris wheel. You didn't get a chance to be on a fucking merry-go-round. You didn't get a chance to be a kid, period. I'm not saying that him and the accusations or what I feel like very well could have happened with him molesting children, I'm not saying that that's right. But I'm not saying that he was a normal motherfucker because he was capable of doing these things. No, he was still mentally troubled and had his own mental hangups and traumas that led to the adult that he ended up being, which is someone who is half trapped in an adolescent child mind, trying to tap into a life that he can't no longer have out of morals and other things, but he can't truly see that because there is a disconnect mentally of how he was raised, how he has a relationship with people. He had to learn a weird lesson on connections and relationships with people in general, friends, family, otherwise, right? Mm-hmm. As that growing into a man, I'm not saying it's right to abuse kids because you wasn't able to be one. I'm saying that the little things that are sus-ass behavior, him getting a monkey and having an amusement park as his house and shit like that, that shouldn't be looked at as strictly pedophile behavior, period. Because for him, he was trying to capture something that he wasn't able to do as a kid with no say. Now you are finally in an age group to where you have the money. Any adult, just like us, any adult who wasn't able to do something when they was a kid and has the money and opportunity to do it as an adult will do it, period. If I wasn't able to go to the fucking aquarium when I was a kid, or go roller skating, or go to the fucking zoo or a safari park when I was a kid, I'm going to do that shit 3 times over when I'm an adult because I probably have the time and money and chance to.
Just like you said, I was hanging up on one point with the interview. Now you're doing that with the amusement park. Because that's the only part of it that you're addressing right now. Well, and not the fact that he had a bunch of 8-year-old friends and sleeping in the bed with a bunch of 8-year-old kids.
But you're missing that. I'm making that point.
Because those are the things why I think more than anything that he did what they said he did. And it's not about him having an amusement park. I just made the comment.
I'm just saying that is something that people looked at as a sign of predatory behavior. Just like you had just said, why did he have an amusement park?
Right. No, I did. But that's along with everything else.
I'm saying...
Not so.
But I'm saying that his upbringing... I'm sorry if I seem fixated on that, but his whole upbringing affected his relationships with people. His experiences with people. Kids are little people. Unfortunately, if he wasn't able to be a kid at that age group, to have friends with kids in that age group, he doesn't know what kids in that age group are like. Unfortunately, it doesn't make it right as a 42-year-old to try to find out what 8-year-olds are like.
Yeah, hell no.
It doesn't make it right. No. Is he wrong for making advances, crossing boundaries that shouldn't be crossed? Absolutely. Did he need help? I believe wholeheartedly. And everybody's seeing him as just a superstar, just this competent person who didn't have no trauma or just got abused a little bit or just got, deprived a little bit, but as if it didn't make a difference. It made a difference.
I don't think that was their mentality. I think it's the fact that you're not the only 42-year-old who didn't have a childhood.
Sure.
There's people who have went through
far
worse
than what.
That's what she's saying.
You're not one of the biggest superstars in the world, like Michael Jackson was.
I mean, no, that part is fair as far as all, but he has plenty of other weirdo behavior that I can defend when it comes to
that's
that.
fair. But what she's trying to get at is
it's
nobody.
Differences. That's what I'm trying to say.
Nobody who does that to kids, no serial killer is right in the head. We're not saying that their actions that they are doing is condoned. What we're saying is that there was something that caused this. That's what we're getting at.
Look past the foundation. What made them these? That's why I got into serial killers. People are fixated on it's a monster. They're heinous. They're evil. They're this. Not looking at what made them this. Them being abused for all of their life. Them not being raised in a time period where psychological advances weren't known about, or certain therapy. There was insane asylums. There was lobotomies. There was electroshock therapy. Being gay. Mean that you had to get shocked out of your mind or shit poked through your, it's just a lot to where it's all circumstantial. For me, like I said, my thing is I'm not excusing per se and saying that with certain adults that are bad and what they do as adults are scot-free because of what they went through. I'm saying that people are looking at it as if they just went from out of the womb adult, out of the womb monster. They don't look at.
But that's a different conversation, though. That's a totally different conversation than calling out what you are.
But listen, doesn't that not play a part that the upbringing and the foundation and what happened prior to you?
Well, yeah, everybody got a story, so yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. But my thing is that the general masses, just like with serial killer, just like with any other monster or heinous person, they look at their current state and their current acts and their evil deeds, the negativity, not the trauma, the victimhood that they had went through, the shit that they went through leading up to that, to make them become the person, to be conditioned to think that this is love, to these things are, even think about certain abusive relationships. Some people are bred and conditioned to think, not bred, but conditioned to think that abuse is love. Hitting is love. Being emotionally evil and wicked with your tongue is love, and that's the only way to receive it. Some people are conditioned for that. I'm just saying people overlook the upbringing and the impact that all of that can happen to bring out this person who is doing all this weird ass shit. Yeah. They're not doing it just because they're doing it.
Let me ask you something before we get back to Kels. I think Michael Jackson is the greatest entertainer to ever live. Michael Jackson is my favorite musician ever out of everybody. That includes hip hop, everything. I love all of his music. But I personally, in my opinion, don't know for a fact, but me personally, I think based on the evidence that I've seen that he touched on little boys. What is wrong with anything I just said?
We didn't say there was anything wrong with that.
I openly have said I believe that he probably did. I don't say that he is completely scot-free. I don't think that man is innocent. I think that he probably did based off of the evidence.
Well, because you was I don't know if you was talking to me or if you was just talking to the masses right now with that whole segue of like there's stuff that led to that, and that's what I meant by that's a separate conversation. I don't mean I can't call the nigga a pedophile if I think you a effing pedophile. I'm not. Just because of what your background was, and I'm not treating you different because you're Michael Jackson. Because everybody got a story. And sometimes people, as I'm sure what you think of R. Kelly, some people use their celebrity in order to do.
Yes, 100%. You know what I'm saying? Yes, absolutely.
So I don't look at that as protection for you.
No, we
not. I could have sworn throughout me talking this whole time, I said for people who think of this way, there is a lot of people. I didn't say a lot of JCs. I said a lot of people who tend to look at it as he came on the scene, he a monster. He came out the womb, he a monster. They don't want to look at any upbringing. They don't want to look at no history. They don't want to look at no childhood. That, like I said, I think that goes for the masses. That's a stigma with humanity. Serial killers, any monster, any infamous being or somebody who is not deemed as societally correct is always going to be overlooked for whatever they've been through and only looked at for what the current act is, period. That is common. That wasn't just for you. You know, that was just in general. That's kind of how humans are, unfortunately. That's how society is. That's how America is. That's how stigmas are. That's how social media is. That's how the internet is. It just sucks. Trends and all that. We can't help it at this point, especially now. Maybe 20 years ago, we might have had some type of chance. Now we can't help it.
I feel like a lot of people seem to forget, like, how can we avoid this situation again?
How do we
prevent it? That's more so.
But and I agree wholeheartedly with everything y'all saying. I was just saying it was a separate conversation. So the fact that y'all brought it to light, it felt like y'all was saying it.
Oh, my bad. Then
just simply saying he's a pedophile.
No. What I was trying to.
No, I was just making it clear for in general. It's not just that. It's not. I understand why you can feel that way. Like I mentioned previously, I'm not as sensitive for certain things that other people may be up in arms about, which is totally fine. I'm very desensitized. However, when it comes to it, like, I feel like there was just, for Michael Jackson, I don't know, we ended up segueing into that we did. But for that particular thing, it was more of a like, it's just, for that particular person, seeing even how he carried himself and stuff, it was very obvious throughout most of his life that he was stunted in growth mentally in some ways, like socially and otherwise. It was very obvious. So that's where I was just trying to, let's not forget about what made him get this rep. What brought him to do these actions? What brought him to this light? He probably thought he was loving on them platonically or in general as showing love because maybe that's how he was taught. I don't know this man. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know nothing about that. But even for some of the accounts of some of the kids, they can even account for it didn't seem nefarious. This man is really confused. He's really.
That's what I'm saying. He was doing little kid shit as a grown man. And I'm not saying that is okay. That was not okay at all. That's not what I'm getting at. But like nobody really went to go try to save Michael in a sense. You feel me? Like from himself. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like for me, like you said,
and there comes down to the time frame with psychological advances, psychology, mental health, like we just always
in the last 5 years alone
just got big, right?
have just grown exponentially.
COVID, we just started really talking about it. And it's like realistically, there's people who are offenders that could have been saved or prevented or helped in certain
if this wasn't a conversation earlier.
Been able to be a conversation.
A lot of people didn't realize the magnitude of being on lockdown, like how prisoners are 24/7 until COVID happened, and then you saw a spike in suicides at home. Right. That's what I'm getting at. Even with R. Kelly, there is something mentally wrong with R. Kelly to think that these actions would be okay. You know, none of these people just got to that point and were out the womb, like she said, and just boom, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a serial rapist or I'm gonna be a serial killer. Just, like for me, like you said, you touch on serial killers and things like that. I'm born the same day as one of the most notorious serial killers of all time, Ted Bundy. So for me, and they say the zodiac that's most likely to become a serial killer, a zodiac that's most likely to become a serial killer is a Sagittarius. That is my freaking sign. So
I would say a Scorpio, but that's just.
But like, so for me, it was like, dang. I was like, what led him to this point? So I never get to this point. Right. Most people won't do that, and that's the issue. That's why you have so many people dealing with mental health right now and not know what's going on, even including myself.
They don't want to go to the root of it all.
That's
a big thing. The root, what started it, was the jumping off point. Because
like
things
even
have just happened.
Like how she said, being stunted, mentally growing. There were like just until last year or the year before, I was still stuck on the day that my aunt had passed away from cancer. In my head, I was still 18 years old, even though I grew 3 years older. That's what it was. So for Michael to never get that whole chunk of your life, that's what it was. And like R. Kelly had alluded to, like his mom's friends would be supposedly touching on him and stuff like that, and thinking that shit is okay.
I think that shows the variables and the circumstantial differences because, okay, Mike started out when he was 5. R. Kelly was talented from about that age as well.
Yes, very much so.
However, he had learning disabilities with dyslexia or whatever. Then it's like you was molested and touched by close family Then on top of that, you did blow up. You did tap into honing your talent. It did come with insecurities. I feel like the difference, at least face value outside looking in, it would be a lot easier to say that R. Kelly definitely used his fame more in a nefarious way than Michael Jackson did. Like, his intentions were, good intentions paved the way to hell. So his intentions were a lot purer in theory than R. Kelly's is, because R. Kelly knew he had the pull. When you out there checking out the outside of high schools, and purposely going into food places across from the high school to get
like people. He was on like some Jeffrey Epstein, like
you were some really
time out.
predatory shit.
Y'all not finna do that, and y'all just defended. Oh, it's cool because he didn't have a childhood, so he made it.
I didn't say it was cool. I didn't say it was cool.
No,
JC,
look,
what he did. What he
I'm not
did
saying
is
y'all
not
said
okay.
what he did was cool. Look, let me.
It's
finish.
not okay.
I'm not saying y'all said what he did was cool, but y'all were understanding of like. Oh, he needed that because
I understand how R. Kelly got to that point.
But then y'all not about to on the other hand say, "Oh, R. Kelly went to this place because he had the capacity to know what he's doing of using this."
But he did. He did.
So what were you saying?
I'm saying that yes, as older, my nigga, I think it'll be a little hard to say that R. Kelly didn't have the arrogance to do what he needed to do, to be predatory, to have studios and beds set up in the fucking studio for people to sleep over. You don't think that's more of a negative and more predatory intent than before? Granted, different age groups, sure. Different types of people, different music artists, sure. For me, and this is my personal opinion, I don't know these men from Adam. I don't. Nor do I care to, nor do I give a fuck about. One of them's dead, the other one's probably not too far from it. They're both geniuses and legends in their own right. However, from what I've seen from the information given, I can see that R. Kelly gave much more of a smarter, manipulative, predatory type of moving when it came to later in life with the people that his victims were. I mean, how
even though it was older women than the boys,
but hold
Michael
on,
was dealing with.
Because this was.
I'm not saying that Mike didn't do his fair share. Sure, we all take a. I'm just saying that he might have been a lot less knowledgeable in the sense of certain intent. There's a difference between doing some. I don't know how to explain it.
You basically don't give Michael that much credit.
In a sense of being a manipulative type of person that has that kind of genius. Not in that sense. No, this nigga R. Kelly was calculated. Let's not forget that. He was calculating how he went after these women. Calculated.
Like, for example,
from being
you
involved
remember when the
music
video came out that he had peed on that girl?
Mm-hmm.
How was this still going on like another 15 years after? People told you peeing on that girl was wrong. Mm-hmm. You kept on going with it. You kept on doing what you're doing.
Sophistication, or from the public view, I should say, did he have that kind of rep with being that kind of mastermind to be accused of a sex cult? Think about it, or sex slaves, or whatever.
I would have to believe that R. Kelly had a sex code or sex slave.
But I'm saying that
he did.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe?
Nah.
There's a whole documentary on that.
I didn't watch the documentary.
There's multiple documentaries about this.
I'm gonna tell you why I didn't watch that documentary. Because, and this is another person. It wasn't just Michael Jackson. In 2015, far before that documentary came out, there was a post that went around saying, "Oh, Hugh Hefner messes with 18-year-old girls, and y'all don't say nothing. But R. Kelly has a 19-year-old girlfriend, and y'all killing him." And on the caption, I wrote, the difference is R. Kelly is an effing pedophile who's been caught with teenagers before. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. So you're talking to somebody who has been calling R. Kelly a pedophile. There's no documentary that can change that for me. When you married a 15-year-old in the 90s and I was a no, that was factual.
Yes.
You did that. That video that you were in, you did that. So if y'all didn't cancel this nigga in 94 when he's sitting on an album cover that says AJ got nothing but a number, and that was just normal. I remember asking adults about that, like, that was cool? Like, nobody said nothing about that?
Yeah.
And then he had the sex tape and still went on to probably be as big as he ever was. Nobody said nothing about canceling R. Kelly. So now because they got some smear campaign, I'm supposed to jump on that bandwagon. I've been calling him a pedophile, but I've always known how to separate the art from the person. So it didn't affect me as much. I feel the way I feel about you. I feel the way I feel about Michael and whatever other trash celebrity there is out there. I separate that from that. So there was no need for me to watch no documentary of some smear campaign because y'all knew he was an easy target because he really is a pedophile that kept messing with little girls and kept trying to play with fire and say, oh, she was 17 or oh, she's 19 and you 50-something years old. And on top of all of that, R. Kelly ain't the only effing one. There's plenty other than...
None of them niggas is okay. If we get that out the way, none of them is okay.
What you just said with him knowing what he was doing, getting with a 15, do you get what my point when I said that he was a little more manipulative, a little more knowing what he's doing as far as being a mastermind, the shit with dealing with people?
Like how you just said, he's stepping around the rules by saying, oh, she was 17 or 18.
Being like, oh, not saying either one of them is right. And I ain't cancel either one of them. I would still listen to both of their music to this day. I don't give a fuck because I don't care. It's not my business. I don't care personally. And I'm desensitized enough to have not gone through the shit personally, and no shade to anybody who has, and I'm sorry for that. However, I don't care. I'm not going to hold that weight on me. So I don't give a fuck. They're great artists, and that's that. I don't know them as people, so I don't give a fuck about them as people personally. So when it comes down to it, you clearly made my point saying that he knew what he was doing when he was lying about Aaliyah's age, went out of his way to get married to her, was making age ain't nothing but a number, was writing the lyrics, slipping in the shit he was. You can't tell me that wasn't
okay. I get what you're saying. So R. Kelly, like Michael was saying disturbing things, but at least he
like
really
he didn't even
realize
it was
like
disturbing.
That's crazy. Okay, I get what you're saying.
It was a pure ignorance thing to me personally. I feel like he wasn't doing things right, but between his stunted growth and his lack of truly understanding situational awareness, it seemed, and boundaries with age groups, it's not right. But this nigga R. Kelly was a predator.
But he still. But I feel like
we're not saying Michael should not have gotten any punishment. We're not saying Michael wasn't no predator.
I also feel like Kells needed help at the fact that, like we was just saying, going around. Oh, she's 19, she's 18. It's like, nigga, if you get off on a case like that. Nigga, you should be trying to date somebody that's 80 to prove a point. Why are you still like playing with fire? Oh, she's 18. Oh, she's 19.
Your point about
so
Hugh
it's like
Hefner,
now you gonna get what you got coming to you.
Your point about Hugh Hefner, I find that shit nasty too. Like you've been waiting, like you remember the bad Barbie girl or whatever. Bad baby.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
her OnlyFans. Yeah,
niggas was waiting for her to turn.
I remember that disgusted me too.
Weird.
That disgusted.
That is so weird.
And the fact that it was out 2 days after her 18th birthday. I was like, wait a minute. So there's no investigation of when the content was made?
Like really? And then my thing is, it's just like, so, like, bro, that means y'all just be staring at 16, 17 years old as soon as she turned 18.
And she been famous since she was 13.
Yeah,
so really,
it's just like,
13,
that junk is weird. And that's what Hugh Hefner does. Like, he be sitting there staring at you. I can understand if, like, you just so happen to meet her when she is 18 or something like that. That's not. It's still a little bit weird. You looking at a girl that young, but it's not the whole. Oh, I'm just waiting. Oh, I'm just waiting. Like, oh, I'm just waiting. Like that's weird.
Another thing is too. That was like the reason I also didn't look at the. Again, this is me not. I'm not saying I believe or don't believe. I'm just saying like I would have to take that for face value of like, oh, he had a sex code, he had sex slaves, I would have to believe all of that, and I didn't look into that enough to believe or not believe.
That's fair.
So all I'm going off of is what I do know, and as far as the Aaliyah thing and the other 15-year-old girl or whatever, between those two things, it seems like back in the day that was more of a normalized thing of where you had like certain men that was like 30 something and they was allowed to date 16 or 17-year-old women, sometimes even get permission to get married. Tiger was 25 years old when he started messing with Kylie
I was just
Jenner.
finna say that.
You know
Tiger,
what I mean? Like Diddy's baby mama for I think it's Justin Combs. People don't talk about the fact that his mom was 16 years old when he had him.
I didn't know.
Of course you don't.
I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? But that's not put on the same forefront.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it should be.
Like, and that was at the same. Diddy's around the same age as Diddy. I mean, Diddy's around the same age as R. Kelly from the same exact era. When Aaliyah was probably around the same age as his baby mama at that time. His baby mama, who was real good friends with Mary J. Blige, she was just on her documentary, and I was thinking in my head, like, how is nobody asking these questions about these certain things? Because a lot of these celebrities been doing that shit, and I'm not saying that makes it right, but like I think it's a difference between you flat out calling somebody a pedophile, which I did call R. Kelly, but it's a difference between flat out calling somebody a pedophile versus somebody who's dealing with like a 16 or 17-year-old and the parents is like oh, we're cool with it, we're gonna sign off on it, because that was more of a normalized culture back then. I literally just finished watching a Good Times episode where his dad was fighting with one of Thelma's boyfriends that happened to be like in his late 30s dealing with his 17-year-old daughter, and it wasn't looked at as like, oh, he's a predator or a pedophile. It was just like, nigga, you too damn old for her while you with her.
But just like the point that you made to her about when we was talking about who eats first, just because it's tradition and just because it was
don't make it right.
Don't make it right.
For sure. But is it cool for you to disgrace one person, but then everybody else is just like you don't bat an eye?
What I'm saying is, all of society was wrong for letting this shit happen. That's my whole point. All of society.
Like I said, you talking about like certain aspects of when he's older and stuff. I watched the documentary, so I'm seeing people's accounts of being around him when he's around high schools and middle schools, outside waiting and picking out girls and being predatory as fuck. Period. I don't care what day and age you in. Any grown man looking at high schoolers as they come out of school, waiting for them, openly lingering for that reason.
You are a creep.
Okay. And then on top of that, that's not just on him. He had the avenues to help him.
He was enabled.
Because everybody enabled him around. Nobody wants to say nothing about him bringing young underage girls to the studio in the bed and fucking in the back while he.
It was cool as long as he was making all these companies millions of dollars.
Like with Jeffrey Epstein, when they did, it took them forever to arrest the woman that was with him. She was up there taking them girls on shopping sprees, telling them to go to massage them old men.
She was picking them out.
You need to come to jail too, baby. Come on, like everybody involved is dead wrong. Y'all nasty, and like, bro, like how, like it's grown men. Y'all sat up there and said, you know what, the check's still clearing, so we gonna let Kel just touch on these little girls.
What they did.
That's exactly what they did. Like y'all really like
he was still when that documentary came out. He was still on Sony's. He was still on Sony Records at that time. This stuff has been up. That tape came out when I was in probably 3rd grade, bro. That tape that he had with that girl came out when I was in 3rd grade.
I was like 3 years old.
If Kels would have stopped right then, he wouldn't be looked at as legendary as he's looked at, because he had a whole career after that that y'all let go. So I'm not jumping on this bandwagon of F.R. Kelly and mute this nigga. No, I'm not doing all of that spit, because y'all should have did that spit back in '94 when this nigga's on an album cover talking about aging nothing but a number, marrying a 15-year-old. And if that wasn't enough for you to call him a pedophile then, that means you clearly got a different agenda right now that I'm not hopping on. Because like I said, I called him a pedophile when it wasn't even popular to call him that.
That's fair.
So that's my take on that.
That's fair.
Anything y'all want to add?
I feel like it's not too surprising that something related to this would be still turn a blind eye to, because let's talk about the very root of shit like this in the black community. Family members, families and kids being whole ass molested and raped by family members, and what we do, say nothing.
They still can come to things. Don't leave the kids in there.
No lie, bro.
Appearance.
I have a relative, that's all I would call him, that lives here in LA. If I saw him today, I would go to jail for what he did to my sister. I would, bro. I can't even put into words. She didn't tell me for years, bro.
Look, bro,
she didn't tell me
to
for
add to that,
years,
bro. That's another thing. I've heard I just had a post about this recently. I've heard way too many stories of black women that I'm close with that have told me stories about, oh yeah, I got molested at this time, or yeah, like this person was raping me, and just telling me in a normal tone. And I'm like, my thing, what I'm starting to go to is, what is y'all black fathers doing? Are y'all niggas not protecting y'all effing daughters or something? Because how often do we hear about one of our homeboys or somebody that we associate with being a molester or rapist? Almost never. But yet every black woman is saying that she has a story of being molested or raped. And so what is we missing here?
Sometimes it's the dads doing it.
And it's just like,
exactly. That as well.
And sometimes for the moms, they don't want to nip shit in the bud because there's a demographic of women who feel like they jealous of their daughter. It's your fault for making my boyfriend look at you. There was a whole demographic in the time period for that. And there's the ones who want to ignore it because, no, not our family. Couldn't be us. No, it's too perfect.
Aaliyah's parents still right now are denying that she married R. Kelly. right now they're still denying it.
There's always gonna be that sheltering, whether it's a woman trying to be in denial about the man she with and the truth about the man she with, if he is the offender, or wanting to discredit their daughter or child because it might not be that. It's that white shit for some people. For other people, not my family. For other people, no, let me dismiss what you're saying because I might have got molested and it wasn't right for me to talk about it, so you for sure can't talk about it. And if I had to stick through it, you got to stick through it. And that projected family cycle, that curse, that generational curse is still propelled through women, through families. Why did grandma stay with grandpa for all these years? Because she had to.
Right.
Like
she was being beaten and abused.
The way it happened
she had to.
in the family was like, my mama was like, nah, like, bro, we need to address this immediately. My uncle asking, so what did you do to make this happen? What did you do to make your cousin rape you? Yeah. So then, my grandma, she the peacemaker, so she's just like, it's water under the bridge. That's not. I love my grandma, God rest her soul,
that's but a lot of our old schools.
But it's not water under the fucking bridge. To this day, my sister is affected by that. And to this day, I feel responsible for it because it happened during my baseball game. Everybody left the house for my baseball game. If I just would not have a game that day, that nigga couldn't have did what he did. My sister might be okay today.
Right. Don't put that on you.
And it, she tell me all the time not to, but it's just like it just pisses me off like that. Like, and I don't talk to that uncle no more because he said something like that. Like, it's just like it enrages me that the black family is like this.
The
like.
dynamic is
Because it broke up the whole family.
Hey, and I'm glad you mentioned that because even even like I said, I was calling R. Kelly that before. I don't know if y'all remember the Boondocks episode.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Aaron Magruder touched on that and had Huey say exactly what you just said.
Everybody was looking at Huey crazy.
Why are y'all so normalized to this? That episode came out and everybody just went back to their lives.
Niggas was laughing at it like it was funny, but that's really what y'all doing.
Really show about the black community.
To this day. To
break down how black community.
I tell people all the time how underrated that show is with having a
message.
Yeah, and that's why I was taken off air abruptly the way it
was. Because they was
putting people on too much.
They was putting black people on to what was happening in their community and the things that they doing wrong and the things that how society is putting pressures on them and things like that. Shout out Aaron Magruder, man. Fuck what you talking about.
100. And honestly, like, just with all this being said, man, it scares the hell out of me for having a daughter.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it's like you would think you could protect your daughter or you could protect your cousin or your sister or whoever, and it's like I ain't gonna say sometimes, most of the time it be in-home spit of people you would never think. You know what I'm saying? And then you end up not, like, again, all these women that have told me this spit, they probably never even really talked about it to a therapist or somebody close to them until they was like,
let me ask you this. There was, in New York, they had like a sexual education video for like first graders. And people were pissed because they were teaching these kids what their private parts were. And I don't know if you've been around many kids. Kids will touch their private parts regardless. Right there in public. They were telling them, you can do this in private, just don't do it in public. Right. And they were telling them, these are your private parts. They are yours. You can't, like, just because an adult says, oh, da-da this, da-da that, doesn't mean you have to do it. And people took such issue with it. But that goes hand in hand with when a child is being molested and just doing whatever an adult tells them to do.
They don't have the language to be able to
understand.
That something's not right.
Yes.
Or to even talk about what happened half the time. Sometimes they don't even know what anatomy to talk about or point to, or a no-no spot ain't gonna get you the answers you need in a certain traumatic situation. It's not.
My girl was actually just telling me a story about somebody that she knew, or some parents that she knew that they had like a daughter, and there was like a family that daughter had a good relationship with, to where she would go over there like, hey, go get some sugar or go get this for me. Like, she was cool with that family the whole time. Come to find out, the man of that family was raping her daughter for years, and she didn't know. And the reason that that she never was able to find out was because the daughter didn't even know something wrong was taking place. She was just going along with what he was doing, thinking like that was okay. And then once it finally came out, it was like, whoa, like, and people around the neighborhood was like, we would never expect that. Like, you know, he was such a good guy, all of that. But he was doing this to this girl for years without knowing because she didn't know exactly what you were talking about.
And they'll still be quick to be like, and what did she do to have this happen?
Yeah,
what
like,
was she wearing? How was she got
yeah,
it?
that's disgusting that people talk like
was
that.
she doing this? Like that victim shaming
That-
shit. I used to be that way.
I ain't gonna lie, I did too until I realized women have been getting raped since the beginning of time. When they when you could show nothing but from here on up in your hands. Tell me how you showing off a figure with that. There's nothing that you can wear that would make somebody rape you. There's nothing that you could say that should make somebody rape you. It's wrong. Yeah. It should not be done. Man, woman, child, don't matter. It should not happen.
If you have a vagina in between your legs, you're a target. If you have any holes at this point, which is male or female,
you a target.
You a target. That's trans. That's otherwise. It don't really matter. If you got an orifice that's open, it's gonna be used for some people. Some people are not ruthless.
Yeah.
For some people, it don't matter. For some people, that's the thing. Like, and it's unfortunate to say the least.
Very much so.
But thank y'all for y'all input, man. And we did reach that milestone. This is our longest episode ever yet. This is our 11th episode. My guy right here,
sir, I'm glad
Appreciate
I could help y'all out break that record.
You know what I'm saying? Whoso miss you, big dog. Get back to
us.
Yeah, come back. They gonna need you because I'm going
he
after
can't be able to carry us.
Oh no, you coming back?
No, I'm saying I'm coming back, but I'm not gonna be on regular every single time. They need you back, partner. Come on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, y'all continue to support, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Let's take this to the furthest extent. Y'all can reach us at allgrindmedia21@gmail.com, at the AGM podcast on Instagram. Y'all can search us on any major media platform to find the podcast. I think Apple Music is All Grind Media. Everything else, the AGM podcast. Your shameless plugs, man.
You can hit me on Instagram at sameold_ and follow the same olds at _official_same olds. We'll be dropping music constantly now. And you can follow my podcast at The Antidote Productions. It's gonna come back real soon.
Yeah, man. Y'all see the energy he brings, so make sure y'all go check my guy out, man. I remember when we was both in the early stages of our podcast and we was kind of chopping it up. So, you know what I'm saying? When you supporting him, you supporting us and vice versa.
Definitely.
And we supporting black business.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So it's going to happen.
And make sure y'all follow our queen as well.
Definitely.
Obviously, I'm gonna have all of our Instagrams at the bottom as
Real
always.
Quick, I'm officially a co-owner of the corporation.
Hey,
Southern Roots Barbecue. So go check it out for your girl. When we have dinners, the weekends we do, I will be posting about it. But be sure to check in because I'm telling you, best food from the South you gonna have on the West. Know that. And yeah, we incorporated
They open
now.
today?
No, not today. We do certain weekends, but we're incorporating now. It's official, and anything from there moving forward it's a wrap. We gonna be successful. So,
Okay, for sure.
Absolutely.
tune in.
All right, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace. See y'all later.
Adi.